commercial.
Like a Coke commercial. Cheers.
To Thursdays.
To Thursday podcast, actually.
Yeah, that's
Can
a
you
really
kick
good
that
thing.
door?
Yeah, I don't have to stand up.
That's
My
fine.
legs aren't.
That is okay.
Oh, God.
Spill it. Spill it.
Just have to buy you all new equipment.
No. There we go. That eliminates some noise.
There we go.
Dun, 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 dun. What was that noise?
You?
Maybe.
Oh, wow. That sounds, for some reason, that sounds satisfying. I kind of like
Oh,
that.
I think it might have been you rubbed on yours. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to put it like real close to your face hole.
Is this close enough to
Yeah.
my face hole?
Sounds close enough.
Okay.
You can hear you,
I can hear me.
and you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Splendid. We're rolling.
Oh, hey.
Welcome, everybody, to the Artist Alliance podcast.
Welcome, welcome.
Today we have Ariel from right down the hallway here.
Hi.
It's fantastic work.
Oh, so nice.
I actually do really like your stuff a lot. I like everybody's stuff down here. Not everybody, but
But for the most part.
for the most part, everybody's
Everybody's-
got something that's pretty dope.
Yeah, and it's all pretty different too, which is something that I kind of like. There's not too many similarities
Isn't
between
that awesome?
people. Yeah, everybody's got their
It's
own
nice.
style that they kind of rock. So
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you're part of the... Shit, what's the studio name again?
Praxis.
Praxis, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what that meant, but Mena told me it's like a gathering of intelligent minds, and I was like, oh, okay.
Sounds
Cool.
legit.
I like that.
Like hive-mindy, maybe?
Oh,
No.
even better.
More Grecian.
That's very Reddit-esque.
Reddit-esque. I like it.
Yeah.
Hive mind.
Hive mind.
How's hive mind Reddit-esque?
I feel like Reddit is a hive mind. Whenever I have a question, I'm like,
Everybody else has the same question.
everybody answer my question together in unison.
Let's get this piece of shit out of there.
Yeah.
It gets too close to right here, and it starts buzzing.
And
I'll
then
get like
it
a
just-
message, and then the soundboard goes, me, me. What the
Maybe
fuck?
they're having like an electronic romance.
They are, and it's disgusting. I'm the only one that romances my phone. As I'm sitting on it right now.
There you go. You guys are like doing your own thing over there.
Yeah.
I don't even
Keep your phone touch.
want to know what you guys are up to.
It's a good call. Oh. So, what do we got going on?
You know,
How was your drive?
it was a good drive, a little trafficy, but I made it. So I was texting. I
Yeah.
did a lot of typos. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Like it's the biggest struggle. Like all the traffic was moving, flowing, and I was catching all the lights. But for some reason, it's like every now and then there's just a dickhead and a group of dickheads, and you're like, oh, okay, so we're gonna miss every light because you guys want to go 7.
You guys want to go super slow.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I know.
I know they totally have the right of way, but the pedestrians who like can't time crossing the crosswalk, like one will go, and when they're a quarter of the way, someone else is like, I'm going to start now.
Yeah.
And then they just like do a, never ending chain of pedestrian walking across the crosswalk.
I don't blame them though. I mean, if you're walking, fuck it, you're probably drunk anyways. That's why you're walking.
Or like on parole or something.
Yeah, right. Can't afford a vehicle because I'm drunk all the time, and I'm walking across the crosswalk because I'm drunk all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. But
There's not that there's anything wrong with being drunk all the
Drinking.
time. Yeah.
yeah.
It is perfectly fine to be not drunk all the time.
Drunk some of the time.
Some of the time. If you have responsibilities. You know, if you have kids and a job, yeah, don't be drunk all the time. If you're
I feel like those are the people who want to be drunk more often than other people because they
true,
have
but
more
their
stress.
drunkenness is well deserved. Every time they're
That's
hammered
true.
drunk, it is deserved.
It's very true.
Yeah.
I don't have kids, so I can't fully be like, I agree.
Don't
But
do it.
I watch a lot of dogs. They're like kids.
Close
kinda,
enough. Yeah.
I guess. I don't. I feel like all the parents in the world are just shaking their head right now.
No,
being like,
no, they're not.
I hate you. Like,
Yeah.
that's not even close to the truth.
Yeah, I don't have a dog either. I have a cat, so I'm like, oh, you have to go take a shit? Fine, I'll open the window. Solid. See you in 4 hours, you little fuck.
I also have a cat. We are pretty convinced that he has bobcat heritage.
Nice.
Yeah, we got him from some crazy,
Is he
crazy
big?
people. He's huge, and he looks like a bobcat, and
Nice.
he's like a psychopath. He hunts everything.
Nice.
Yeah, the people we got him from, it was so weird. So we go into the place because they advertised that they had kittens, and it's like this super, and there's nothing wrong with religious people at all. I'm not. But this one religious couple, well, so it's my boyfriend and I, and we go in there, and they're like so religious that the woman's like wearing a bonnet. Like they're crazy.
That's hard.
Yeah, and so we see the kittens and we're super hooked. We love them, and so we want them, and the couple kind of start going off on their religious rant, and the woman starts talking about how men are being with men now, and it's an abomination, and how like couples are living together before marriage. And I'm like there with my boyfriend, and she's like, I hope you and your brother never ever like get in. Yes. And it was so horrible. So we kind of looked at each other and we were like, we love this cat, we're gonna go, and the world's going to hell. Like
right after you grab that cat and like do the adoption stuff, just turn and be like, you're the best brother ever, and then make out with them. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, she was a delight. I'm sure her name was like, I don't even know, Ethel or something.
Beth.
Yeah, Beth.
It's Mary. No, I do that shit to Mallory when we're at the store or something. I'll plant one on her. She's like, oh, I was like, you're the best sister ever.
You're the best sister. I'm so lucky to have grown up with you.
Yeah. Or stand up, like be in line, but not behind her. Be behind the person that's behind her and reach up and grab her butt, hide. And guy's like, dude.
That's pretty classic. Actually.
Yeah. I like fucking with people if I can.
Yeah, it's the best ever. I really like it.
I do a fantastic Tourette's guy.
Oh my god,
when we're out
really?
and we're drunk, yeah.
Are you like kind of strange swear combinations?
Yes.
Or like, is that your strategy?
Yes. And it's always like I'm trying to hold it back really hard. I'm like, no, fuck. Big titties. Shit like that.
I hate to ask this. The last time I asked somebody this, so I really like South Park, the show. It's like one of my favorite shows. And I know it's really immature. And the last time I asked somebody if they watched South Park, they were like, yeah, I used to love to watch it in high school. And I was like, yeah, me too. I haven't seen it in years. But that reminds me of the one where...
Yeah, but what? How long have you been out of high school? How old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay, good. I was like, did I just fuck up and give a minor a beer?
Yeah, I'm going to be finished with this in a second, and I'll get some more. And no, I definitely am old enough to drink and everything. But you were reminding me of the South Park where Eric has Tourette's, and then he starts saying things, that he didn't. He was like, me and my cousin touched wieners, and gets all embarrassed. That's one of my favorite episodes.
South Park was great. I mean, I kind of fell off for a while because it was there was like a whole couple seasons where it was just, let's just hit political stuff. I'm like, it's the rest of TV right now too.
No.
And then I just don't watch TV anymore anyways.
I don't watch South Park as much anymore. I do like Rick and Morty. It's kind of Rick and
Morty's fucking amazing.
So good. It's like my favorite show. Have you seen kind of the latest season?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Pickle Rick!
I almost was Pickle Rick for Halloween.
I asked my son if he wanted to be Rick and Morty next year, and he looks at me, he's like, no. I was like,
what?
Fine, I'll find another kid to be Morty.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I'll find another kid to be my son. Right. I was like, that's a whole different type of fan.
That's straight up. That's a Rick move, though. I'll just find another Morty, Rick.
Yeah, exactly.
Find another Morty.
Yeah, I was going to be Pickle Rick, and then one of my friends told me that I was going to have to, like, have vomit on my face. And I was like, well,
just a little bit of drool.
Just a little bit. And, yeah. I think instead my costume I put together in, like, a second, so...
I feel like we all did.
What was your costume? What were you
I did the. Have you seen Stranger Things?
Yes.
Okay, so I did the wall. That was the the alphabet.
Did it light up?
I hung string lights on the front that lit up.
God,
and then
yes.
Have you seen season 2 yet?
I've seen. Okay, so I'm watching it with my boyfriend right now, but he hasn't seen the first season, and I have. So it's like kind of we're rewatching it together, and then the new season came out, and I couldn't wait. So I watched the first like 35 minutes, and then I just had like a wave of guilt crash over me, and so I've seen like the first 35 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I've seen Mad Max.
Well, I won't spoil it then.
Okay.
The back of my T-shirt had a thing from season 2. Yeah.
Oh my god! Now
so I was just walking around spoiling shit.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Did anyone get upset? They were like, I haven't seen it. They probably didn't know, I guess.
No.
They were
I had a few people even recognize the front. I was like, whatever.
I had some friends last year who had one was Will's mom and one was the wall. So
Yeah,
I liked that.
That was Mallory's thought too. But then she decided. I think she decided originally she was going to be, oh fuck, what's her name? Lydia from Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, same person, same actor or same actress, just 30 years ago. It's like, that's awesome.
That is pretty cool. Yeah.
And then when we were talking about the Rick and Morty thing, she's like, I could be Beth. I'm like, that could be creepy. Beth and Rick making out all night. That'll be strange.
Oh god, that's so horrible.
Right? I was like, even better, be Summer.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, it just full circle. I like it. You guys could go to grocery stores, you could touch your butt, standing behind someone else.
Or the sentient not sentient, but the hive mind. What were they?
Oh yeah. Oh my god, I can't remember what the name of
something, whatever.
Now it's gonna bug me. Harmony, right?
Harmony, that's it.
There we go.
I'm doing all of them at the same time.
And it's just such a like unhealthy. They're all like doing drugs and like just getting super fucked up.
Why is that unhealthy? That sounds awesome.
No, it totally is. But they were also like horrible.
just having an intergalactic species orgy.
Yeah,
with one hive
mind.
mind. It's great.
I know, and Summer just ruined their entire community on accident by telling them to be individuals.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a great show. I think my favorite one was where he was, where they went to Ricklantis, or like the place where they have
all the different Ricks.
I had to watch that one twice in a row. I was so into it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So
I stand by Pickle Rick though.
Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick or Tiny Rick.
Tiny Rick, which one is that one?
Remember Tiny Rick?
No.
Where he made himself into a child, and then he went to school with Summer and
I don't think I've
Morty.
seen that one.
You haven't seen that one? Oh my god, it's so fucking great.
Oh my god, I love that.
Oh man, he's kind of like, what is it? He turns into kind of a douchebaggy kid, and he's like sitting there at the party and he's playing guitar and he's singing a song. Like, but the song that he's singing is what's actually in his mind. He's like, somebody help me, I'm trapped in a kid's body. Shit like that. Fucking hysterical.
That's so funny.
That was my favorite. I was running around all fucking week after that going, Tiny Rick!
Tiny Rick! Yeah, I definitely referenced that show.
And then Pickle Rick was fantastic too.
So good. Jaguar. Isn't that, what's the guy's name that comes and saves him? Jaguar or something?
I don't remember.
He's like the Russian criminal. That
that's right.
That would be a good Halloween costume, actually. If I was a dude, I would go as... I mean, I guess I could anyways, if I wanted to.
Dude, I just want to be Pickle Rick with, like, bionic rat arms and shit. With a pelt.
Amazing. Yes.
That shit was badass.
That totally made it. Yeah. That was such a good one.
We got a couple of your pieces up here.
Yeah.
We contemplated getting one of the bigger pieces, but all your pieces are taller than you.
Yes.
So...
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult. These are like the smallest pieces she has. If you're watching, if you're not watching and you're listening, that means I finally got my shit up on a listening station instead of just YouTube. Then yeah, you'll have to look it up. Where can we find your stuff?
Oh yeah, so I do have a website. My website is thechaoticaquatic.com.
The Chaotic Aquatic.
Yes.
Is chaotic spelled correctly, or did you throw a K in there or something?
I mean, that would have been chaotic.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Okay, everybody calm down.
Making me miss some weed here. What?
No, everything's spelled normally. I also have an Instagram that's kind of more... Like, my website's pretty vetted. It's only got, kind of more finished things, but... For more day-to-day stuff, I have an Instagram, and it's the same thing. It's The Chaotic Aquatic. So it's like my artist moniker. So, yeah.
I just stop and think. If I follow you on Instagram, then I had to stop and think about when was the last time I was on Instagram.
That's good. I actually go on Instagram the most probably when I can't sleep. And then I find myself, like, on the weirdest pages. It's a deep hole. Yep. You get carried away really fast.
Exactly.
But it's better than Reddit. I feel like on Reddit you can get into even weirder places.
Oh yeah. I've been down some Reddit rabbit holes.
Oh my gosh, me too. Where like almost for a couple days afterwards, I was like, I'm gonna not be on Reddit anymore. Yeah.
I remember having Reddit, 4chan, and 9gag all open at once. I was like, I have a problem.
You're like, someone help me.
I deleted all the apps. I was like, I don't go there anymore. I was like, no, let's focus more on Netflix. What's over here?
Oh, Netflix. I mean,
yeah.
You can never go wrong with Netflix.
It's like they have an ever-expanding inventory, and I still feel like, God, I've seen most of this. I've seen
That's
like 90%
true.
of Netflix.
I also feel like some of the stuff on Netflix is such like just the most B movie stuff ever. Like,
I love it.
I love it. I was scrolling the other day and like something came up and it was like my robot girlfriend and like just like the most absurd things. And the sad part is that it thought that I would give 5 stars out of 5 to my robot girlfriend. And
Did you watch it?
Well, no, I couldn't,
It's
because
fucking
what if
great.
I loved it? Then I'd be like, "You're right, Netflix. You
It's
have me
fucking-
pinned."
It's
Like,
great.
so you've seen it? I mean, would I love it? Is it 5 out of 5 stars?
I don't know. I don't know your take on movies, but I like almost everything. Literally almost everything I thoroughly enjoy.
I like a lot of things. It takes a lot of. I mean, even the really bad stuff you can enjoy for
yeah.
like how shitty it is. You know?
Absolutely. I watch like CW shows and shit like that. I do. All the superhero ones.
Oh, me too. In fact, I think I'm going to Thor tonight, like the midnight
we have
release.
not gone to see it. I want to go see it. Oh, that's right. We were going to go see it because we thought it was out already. And then we're like, we're stupid.
Oh, it's not out yet. Yeah, I think it's been out. Like, there's like a super secret, like volunteer screening.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, SIF or something, but that's all I've heard of.
Yeah.
But
Thor's a fantastic franchise. I like that one. The whole Marvel universe is just getting big.
Oh my gosh, I love
So's
Marvel.
DC.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. What's your favorite Marvel movie? If you had to pick one, like gun to your head,
My
in a
favorite
weird situation.
Marvel
where
movie?
or a comic book if you're like old school.
My favorite Marvel comic book was The Uncanny X-Men.
Oh my god, I've never even seen that one.
Yeah, when I was a kid. It was my favorite one.
Cool.
It was great.
That's awesome.
It was horribly great. I loved and hated every bit of it.
I actually just read the Doctor Strange, like the first 2 in the series or something like that.
Which series though? Because it's been redone like 5 times
1,000 times.
by 5 different artists and shit. So
Man, I'd have to have it with me to tell you. I'm like the worst comic book fan ever to tell you like which artist did it. I know that the art is amazing. Like the cover of it is, Doctor Strange's head, and it's like a house that's on fire.
oh yeah,
if that-
I saw that actually
Yeah.
on Reddit. I think
Yeah, it's but it was a really cool series. That's probably my favorite movie too.
I
Actually,
might
all
have
of
that
them.
CBZ file too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I download all my comic books now.
Oh, that's clever.
I don't want to waste the paper. I mean, especially with modern comic books, like old comic books, if somebody busted out an old set of like 1990s and 1980s Uncanny X-Men, I'd lose my shit and I'd just buy them. Like,
Oh,
fuck it.
I used to have a ton of an ex-boyfriend's dad had a bunch of old comics from like way back in the day, and he just gave a bunch of them to us, and the guy I was dating at the time didn't care about them, but I
Read them all and shit.
Read them all, like had them all, and after we broke up, he had to be like, "Hey, give me back my comic books," and I was like, "You're the worst."
I would have given them like half of them, be like, fine.
Yeah.
Like all the shitty ones.
Yeah, exactly.
I had like 3 of them that were like holographic covers and had sleeves on them
Yeah,
and shit.
it's not like you would know.
I feel like I still have those in storage somewhere. I'm sure I do. That right next to my collection of Pogs.
What are Pogs? Am I? Oh.
You might be a little young for Pogs.
What
I
are
was
they?
I was in junior high when Pogs were huge.
Are they like shoes?
No, they were little cardboard discs, and they had characters on them, and you would collect them.
Cool.
And then you would have like a plastic or a metal disc that you would play other people. They'd put in their Pogs, you put in yours, and you would hit the top of the stack, and whatever one's flipped over, you got to keep.
Oh my god, that's
So yeah,
incredible.
by the end of like my junior high experience, everybody had moved on to Magic the Gathering, and I had like 8 6-foot fucking tubes full of Pogs. I was like, and mind you, these are tiny little discs, and I had fucking, or not
Tons
6,
of
3-foot stacks. I had 8 3-foot stacks
That's
of them.
incredible.
It was disgusting. It was a horrible, horrible thing.
It's a horrible.
Because we'd go, there was
disgusting-
Pog shops when I was a kid. You would go down and you'd buy them for like 5 cents, or they had the penny Pog bin,
Ooh.
and yeah.
That's
or they
pretty
had like
incredible.
rare ones and shit, and I was like, oh yeah, I like the ones that spin and all sorts of shit. It's
I love
fucking
it.
the nerdy, goofy shit that kids collect.
Oh, I used to collect Pokemon cards. I still have a bunch, actually.
Yeah, my son's got a stack of Pokemon. I never played
Totally.
Pokemon until the phone game came out, and then I went fucking hard. I went hard. I mean, I'd be up at 3 a.m. and I would grab my phone, his phone, which wasn't an activated phone, so I had to use my Wi-Fi on my phone. And then I'd grab Mallory's phone, and I would go and try and catch all this crazy shit that was out at night.
Oh my god, that's incredible.
Yeah, I remember in my like flip flops, or not even mine, Mallory's flip flops, walking like blocks down the street to find something that was still a shadow. I'm like, come on,
Come on, you can do it. I played a little bit of Pokemon Go when I was younger. I would just I don't know. When I was younger, we didn't play the actual card game or anything. Like I didn't even know until like I don't know. 3 years ago or something, I went to a random Comic-Con and realized that like you actually play a game strategically.
Oh, you just collected them?
I just collected them,
Oh,
and
shit.
then we would trade them in my neighborhood. I had like a binder that had like laminated sleeves, and I had like a bunch of different ones. And I remember I was like the only girl who was trading Pokemon cards, and like I had a sick collection, and I was so proud.
I think that's how my girlfriend was too.
Yeah, totally. And then yeah, we went to Comic-Con, and I was wasted. We had like way too much tequila before going inside. So I looked up Comic-Con before I went, and all the girls dressed really slutty on the online pictures. So
Yeah.
I decided to, I was like, I'm going to dress for Comic-Con. And then I got there, and nobody dresses like that in real life. And I was like wearing a corset and stuff, and it was so embarrassing. And I was wasted.
There's a few, but you can't see them because they're surrounded by people getting pictures taken with them.
Yeah. So we went in, and I was just like blacked out, and there was a Pokemon master named Hector, and we were like the last people there, and we made him teach us how to play. And I'm sure he was just like, I literally hate my life right now. Like these couple.
No
need
way.
to
He's like,
leave.
I'm hanging out with this drunk chick that's dressed all hookery.
But so we learned how to play the game.
That was a highlight of his day.
I hope so. Because I've thought about it since then, and we probably should have like tipped him or something. I don't know, something.
Yeah.
But I didn't really retain any of the information because, like I said, I was really drunk. But my boyfriend did, and so we learned how to play, and we would play each other in Pokemon. So now we
Oh,
still
that's
have
pretty
cards
fun.
and stuff. And
I still don't know how to play, like the actual card game. I
Yeah.
have zero interest in it.
it's we gave away a lot of our cards too. We have like some kids and stuff that we like babysit, and obviously
Aw.
it's like better for them to have them than
Yeah.
us to be like.
You're like
weird.
giving it to him, like, no, don't chew on it. It's a legendary.
It's a holographic card.
Yeah.
Stop. But I have heard you said Magic. That's been big with some people. I had a roommate that was crazy into Magic.
Magic the Gathering came out and just fucking decimated Pog playing.
Oh my god.
And I was so pissed.
You were
I
like,
was,
"What the fuck?"
I lost friends over it. I said, "Fuck you guys, you
Burning bridges."
douchebaggy ass bitches." I was like, I'm gonna go show these chicks my Pogs and see if they like it.
Just show them my Pog. That sounds so much dirtier than it is. Oh, that's amazing.
No, it got to the point where I was taking an extra class in school, which was a shop class, so I could machine metal. And they had this little benchtop lathe, and I would sit there and I was machining my own little slammers and shit. And I was like, it was right after that just
You're
disappeared.
almost a
I know.
professional.
Almost.
So close.
That was a horrible joke. That's all we make here. Inappropriate statements and horrible jokes and
It's-
art.
Yeah, it's what we specialize.
That's what this whole thing is. I realize, like, every art walk, it's nothing but inappropriate statements, horrible jokes, and art.
Well, yeah, I'm.
And drunk and homeless people coming in, stumbling in, and stealing wine.
Those are always fun. Or
Those are
getting into
great.
like conversations with you about how like someone planted something in their head in China and stuff. And I always feel like I feel too bad to like turn them down mid conversation. So I always get like way too wrapped up in it, and then like I like any potential customers I would have had, I've like completely lost because I'm like in a really intense conversation with the homeless guy who's like telling me about
The dude with the big nose, the big alcoholic nose that comes walking through every week.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I'm like best friends with him.
Yeah,
Like, he's my
he
homie.
kept the girls here busy for like 2 hours one day.
And it's like you feel so bad being like, oh man, like what you have to say is important. I'm sure. but,
Exactly.
like
And thoroughly enjoy, hanging out and talking with them and stuff. But
Yeah.
you have to. It's the one day a month we're open, and you have to make some money. It's like,
yeah, it's sad. I need to get better at being like, I need like a distraction. I guess one time I made cupcakes, but like I don't know, they don't really care about those most of the time.
No, we make goofy ass shit all the time. Did you
you
see the
guys
cookies?
have the best food. The Day of the Dead cookies where
Yeah.
you like decorate them
Yeah.
yourself. Those were so cool.
I know Mallory made them, and she's like, "Fuck, I should have made more." We didn't realize there was gonna be so many kids the last show.
There was a lot of kids
There
last
was a
show.
lot of kids the last show.
Yeah, but you guys always have the coolest food over here.
Yeah,
I think.
we had Mallory's mom out in the hallway over there making cork animals with kids, and then Mallory was in here with the cookies, and we had sushi and crackers and shit.
Yeah, sushi. That's like A-level stuff.
It's like cheap QFC sushi,
Well, still, I brought cupcakes one single time in like the past 6 months that I've been here, and I
Yeah.
tried to make them really fancy. I put like little pearl
I
decorations
saw
on
that.
them. Well, I thought they looked really cool, but I didn't try any of them. And the first person who tried them took a bite out of them and like almost broke their tooth because apparently you're supposed to use like one, and they're very hard. They're like chalk candy that's been like
shit.
rockified or something. And so yeah, it was kind of a fail, but live and learn.
You're
I
not much of a
guess.
baker.
I love baking, but sometimes I just try new things, and you kind of got to like
And you fuck up.
you fuck up.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like how you learn, I guess.
Yeah, you fuck up and you learn stuff.
But I just have other people learn for me. I
Yeah.
don't-
That's how we learned how to make teriyaki chicken, is by fucking up.
That's cool. I like
Yeah.
teriyaki chicken. It's
Right?
an important life skill, I think.
Well, I had a whole bunch of goofy shit I was trying for a while. I was like, I want to make orange chicken, and so I cut up these chicken thighs, threw them in a pan, and I was like, I literally had that orange flavoring that they have, like baristas have and shit. That stuff that they put in Italian ices. I was like, I had that and dumped a little bit of soy sauce and some brown sugar in. And I was like, maybe this will work. I'm like, that was fucking god awful. But then like everybody I lived with smoked a lot of weed, so they're like,
This is
that was
pretty
so good.
I
And then we
have-
ran out of that, so I made the same thing, but with teriyaki. And I was
I mean,
like,
it was like way better, I bet.
And then it turns out I'm like, yeah, I perfected it. Now it's great.
There you go. So for a little while, there's a place close to where I live named Betty, and they make the best clams. And clam sauce is pretty easy to make. Like, most of the time it's just like
I'll
white
fight 'em.
wine. Oh, you fight them. Come during happy hour and try
I'll
them.
fight
They're
'em.
so good. And the cool thing is like they have an open kitchen, so you can kind of see how they make everything. So, I saw them make the clam sauce, and I was like having a friend over, and I was like, I'm going to make her clams, and she's going to, love me forever. She'll always be my friend then. So I tried to make clam sauce, but failed so hard. You're supposed to make it from white wine, and we had like a Chardonnay that was like super sweet and just wasn't the right type of wine that you're supposed to use.
You want to use something drier with clams.
Yeah, and we also didn't have any butter, so I was like, well, maybe if I did like olive oil.
Nope.
And then, so I try it, and I'm like, wow, this tastes horrible. And so we grow a lot of plants out on our balcony. We had been growing a bunch of basil, and I was like, well, basil's a strong taste. Maybe if I put in some basil, it'll cover up everything else that tastes like shit. So I put in basil, and then this is like the last mistake I made. I just let it like simmer for like 20 minutes. So it just tasted like just the most disgusting, like,
And they were super chewy.
yeah, like garbage water.
Oh,
And
man.
so yeah, that didn't go well.
We figured out fennel.
Oh.
Get some fennel, thinly slice it, throw it in a pan with some butter and garlic, throw some white wine in, throw clams in, put the lid on, let it simmer like that until they're open, and then it's
Yeah.
done. Then you
Yum.
just dump it over pasta.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. Mallory
Wow.
does it, and she does it perfectly, and she's never eaten a fucking clam in her life.
She doesn't like clams?
She doesn't like anything that comes out of the water.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I am from Montana, so I especially like things that come out of the water.
There's a big
And-
difference between freshwater and saltwater, though.
Oh, big time. And like,
You a catfish fan?
I think I've only had catfish a handful of times.
Catfish is my favorite fucking water-dwelling creature.
Really?
I don't know why. I thoroughly enjoy everything that lives in the water that eats garbage. Like the garbage fish, fucking lobster, crab. Those are garbage fish.
Oh, absolutely.
well, they're
yeah.
insects technically. They're spiders.
Ew, that's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Think about it.
Oh,
They're spiders.
I hate that.
Yep.
Have you ever heard
But they're
the...
fucking yummy spiders.
Oh, they are. Have you heard the Jim Gaffigan stand-up where he talks about how, like, lobsters were just, like, never meant to be eaten?
Yeah.
I love that. He's so right. He's like, anything you dip in butter is going to taste good. Like, you could cook a garden hose and put it in butter and,
I doubt that shit.
I've never tried it. I can't say.
It is weird that, like, it was like 20, 30 years ago, they were serving lobster to prisoners.
What?
Yeah, because they thought it was disgusting.
Oh my God, I wish I was a prisoner.
Yeah, they cooked up crab and lobster for prisoners. They paid commercial fishermen to go do that, and then they would... Yeah,
That
in the
sounds like
off season of fishing, they would go catch crabs and lobsters, and they found out some people are like, "We've been living off this shit for a long time, and it's delicious. If you just do this one thing, you melt some butter,
and then it's amazing,
and then it's fucking fantastic." And then now everybody's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna pay $20 a pound for a lobster."
Absolutely,
like bitch, it's a water spider.
I do love seafood. It's
a
probably
water scorpion.
That's so scary. I hate that you say that. It makes me like them less, even though that's like one of my favorite foods.
Yeah, that's what spiders and scorpions taste very similar.
Wait a minute. Back up. You know what spiders taste like?
I know what spiders and scorpions taste like.
What? Why? How do you know that?
I will eat everything.
You've eaten spiders?
Anything. I've eaten spiders, scorpions. I've eaten emu. I've eaten some weird shit. No, I have not eaten emu. I've eaten ostrich.
Oh, okay. I had an emu bite me on the ear once. It was weird. I was little, but it didn't hurt.
Yeah.
It just scared me.
I will eat anything that's made out of meat. Anything. If somebody was like, "So this was a dude that we found."
The guy who comes in on our walk.
It just happens to fit on the grill.
Well, you'll do fine during an
Yeah, I've eaten this is some weird shit.
That's crazy. So you're telling me that scorpions and spiders taste like lobster and crab?
Scorpions and spiders taste...
Did you put butter on them?
No. You just fire roast them and eat them. And they're super crunchy.
I've had grasshoppers once at a game.
Yeah.
A Mariners game.
And grasshoppers taste a little nutty, right? Mm-hmm. So it's fairly similar to that, except it's almost like what is it? It's when you bite into a spider butt, especially. It's like a warm cream cheese consistency.
I hate it.
But it tastes like more like mushroom and nuts. But it kind of has that, like the flesh inside, the little bit you can feel, kind of feels the same consistency of crab.
Oh my God, I didn't know that this is what we were going to talk about today, and I'm so happy that we are.
Right? That's my favorite part about this. Every time somebody's like, "Well, what are we going to talk about?" Fuck, I don't know. Whatever comes up. Eating spiders and shit.
I'm surprised this is where this went. I actually have a horrible fear of spiders.
I noticed when you freaked out about that little spider over there.
It's pretty big.
It's little.
I think it's pretty big.
It's small enough to not want to eat it.
So you eat big spiders then?
Well, yeah, you don't want to eat little fucking bitch spiders. Those don't do nothing for you.
What if it's still alive and it like bites your mouth on the inside?
Not worried.
What if it lays eggs in your belly?
I've been bitten by poisonous spiders.
What happened?
And stung by scorpions.
What happened when you got bit by spiders? I'm not afraid of scorpions for some reason, but spiders freak me out.
They're similar to a bee sting. But the spider, I actually have one spot right here. I was camping and I cut it out. As soon as it bit me and I noticed it and killed it, and I just cut it out with a knife. Immediately. They were like, "You shouldn't do that." I'm like, "Whatever. I lived."
That's terrifying. That is so scary. I've never been bitten by a spider. I don't let myself get close enough. Ever.
Yeah, you do. You sleep.
Oh, don't. I hate this story. I don't like where this is going.
I eat a dozen spiders a year.
Ew, I hate that.
I eat more if I can find them.
So do you make a habit of this?
Is it like I don't. I don't do it intentionally, but I'm one of those people that is like, I have a water on my nightstand, and if there's a bug in it, I drink it anyways. I don't care.
One time, my dad told me to eat a moth, and that was, I did.
Yeah.
He dared me to.
I was roller skating down a hill once, and a bee flew into my mouth, and it stung the roof of my mouth, so I ate it. I just chewed it up. I'm like, "You son of a bitch."
Okay, this is like my favorite visual I've had today. You were roller skating.
So hold on, rollerblading.
Rollerblading.
Yeah.
Wait, so I have roller skates with the like 4 wheels, right? Rollerblading is like all of them in a row.
Inline skates.
You are rollerblading. You got a bee in your mouth. So I'm just picturing you on rollerblades, like bent over, and then you're just chewing it angrily.
Yep.
Is that
fucking asshole bee?
My boyfriend got stung on the tongue by a bee this year, like pretty recently, less than a month ago.
Fucking sucks, dude.
He had a lisp for like the entire rest of the day.
Exactly. I was luckily going to see a movie, so it was great.
Oh my God. I mean, at least you kind of like showed him how angry you were and you ate.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck that bee.
I got stung by a bee this year too. I had this really awkward, this was like the shittiest thing that's happened to me in probably like the past year, which I feel like now I'm going to tell the story and you're going to be like, fuck you. Like, that's not that bad.
Okay.
But, so I'm newer to Seattle, new enough to where like I went to Discovery Park and I wasn't sure how to get home from Discovery Park, but I drove. Okay. So let me just rewind.
Did you drive down to the parking lot?
Yes.
Okay.
Drove down to the parking lot. And I was there,
Did you walk all the way to the lighthouse?
I didn't go to the lighthouse. I think I walked by the lighthouse actually. Okay. Yeah. So there was a photographer who wanted to do like, he does like artist pictures. So I was like, cool, sounds great. But this is like my second time meeting him. So, like not whatever. I'm a girl. You got to be like safe and protect yourself. So we're sitting and he has me go and put
come meet me in the woods for this photo shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
I swear it'll be fine.
It will be fun. I don't know why we just gave him that accent. That's not what he sounds like.
I give him 30 old Russian man accent.
So he tells me to come to this place and I put my canvas down and he's like taking pictures and all of a sudden I notice that there are like flies everywhere and I'm like, where did all these flies come from? And then I just start getting stung like just tons of times all over myself and I panic and I'm like, oh my God, it's bees. So we both run and then we realize, and the sun's going down, it's like a sunset shoot, the sun's going down, and we realize we left all of our shit back where the bees are. And so we have to go back to where this beehive is and I've got like my giant canvas, my easel, and my fucking car keys. And so we get the easel and everything and the brushes, but we can't find my car keys anywhere and now it's dark. But I also, I don't want this guy that I barely know to be like,
let me drive you home.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I have a spare. And there's also this other detail to the story that's important. So
you don't have a spare?
I don't have a spare and my phone isn't working. So I've borrowed my boyfriend's phone for this particular event without checking how much charge it had.
Oh no.
So it's just like the worst possible storm of things. So I go back to the car and I'm like, and he's like waiting for me to like tell him if I have a spare or not. And I don't, and I can't drive away to show him anything. So I'm just kind of like doing this awkward kind of like poker face where I'm like, you know what? My boyfriend's coming. It's fine. It's going to be totally fine. So he's like, okay. And so he just leaves. So now I'm in this situation where I have a phone that's on 3% and I'm in a park after dark, which is kind of a scary place to be. Like weird people go to parks when it's dark out. I feel like, I don't know.
You
I
were
just
in the
think
park
that
when it was dark out.
I'm pretty weird, so I don't know. So I have no idea what to do, and I try to call my boyfriend from my phone. So my screen's really cracked, so he can see in my head. He can see that I'm calling, but he can't like do anything about it.
Yeah.
But also, like my boyfriend didn't even have my phone anywhere near him in this scenario, so I'm like calling just my phone that's in a different room, so he has no idea, and I'm just stranded for like what felt like an eternity. I felt like my entire life passed by, and I'm like just in the car, just with nothing to do because I don't have a phone. It's dark, so I can't see anything. I can't like read a book or anything, and I'm just hoping that somehow my boyfriend like telepathically knows that I'm stuck in the wilderness. So I wait there forever.
It's a park in the middle of the fucking city.
In my head, I'm like in the middle of nowhere though, because I don't know where Discovery Park is. So
that's true.
I think that I'm like in, dire straits. And so I finally work up enough courage because it feels like I've been in the car. I was planning on like waiting until morning, but I just drove myself crazy because I am, really bored. So I decided to arm myself with like the only weapon I could find in my car, which was a potato peeler. And I like ventured out into the night menacingly holding a potato peeler and ran into the nicest old lady. And I'm pretty sure I scared the shit out of her because I was, menacingly holding a potato peeler, but she drove me home, and that was the worst thing that's happened to me this year. And I had just bee stings all over my hands. And my boyfriend was like, what happened to you? Because it was like 2 a.m, and I had swollen up hands and was really upset.
Jesus. You just think by 2 a.m. he might have called you.
I know. That's what I thought too. But again, his phone was dead.
Oh.
And he didn't have a phone to call me with because I had his phone.
You should always have a spare key.
Yeah, that's what I learned.
Yeah.
So
I used to take my spare key and tie it to some fishing line, and I'd put it around the gas cap in my car, and then feed it down that little hole where the hinge is.
That's clever.
Yeah, that way I knew where it was.
That's
amazing. And then my
amazing.
car had that you had to pop it from the inside to get the thing open, but I knew if I had a stick, I could wedge it in there and pop it open.
I'm pretty excellent at also if like I lose my keys a lot, so I'm pretty good at like breaking into.
You remember
cars.
when the back door here was broken?
No, that was a thing.
When the lock didn't work anymore? Oh, it's the reason you had to get a new key.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that's what I just.
I was
thought
like
that
the
they were,
first
like-
person to show up and figure it out.
Really?
I was like, this lock doesn't work. I drove all the way down here and I have a podcast, so I'm just going to break in. My girlfriend's like, or everybody in the studio is like, what do you mean break in? I was like, I'm not going to break anything. I'm really good at breaking into places.
So did you like paper clip it or like?
No, I rubber band it.
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
I'll tell you later. I don't want to explain to people on the podcast how to break into the
stuff?
studio.
That makes sense. I've tried the paperclip thing. I used to have a job where
You can't paperclip a goddamn
you can't.
door lock.
It's a total myth. Yeah, or
Yeah.
even any kind of lock.
You can. You have to be extremely good.
Oh.
You have to know what the fuck you're doing. You have to
Yeah.
know how to harden a paperclip. It's a pain in the dick.
I used to have this job where, have you ever heard of those things where you get like 30 people in a room and they all paint the same painting and get drunk? And you teach them how to paint? the
Yeah.
same- I used to do that.
Aw.
Yeah.
You
it was
taught
fun.
people that?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But
I was like, you taught people that? Or you sat on the pedestal and they painted you?
no. So I taught people how to do that. And we used to all the teachers would share one storage locker and you had to be on time. That was the thing. I actually eventually got fired from that job because I was late and like 40 people were waiting for me. So I tried to teach them all how to paint something in like 10 minutes and they didn't like that.
No.
But
They
it was
normally don't.
Yeah, they normally don't. But we all shared the same storage locker and I was running late and the storage locker is like an hour away from where I live. So I got there and realized I didn't have the key to the fucking storage locker and I'm like, well, I have no idea what to do. So I was like trying to paper clip the lock thing.
Oh, was it like a lock, like a master lock?
It was like a master lock. Yeah, it was like a
Oh, okay.
like
Yeah.
a
Yeah. Like a You can get into those with a soda can.
what?
Yeah.
See, this is like now I know
Yeah,
who
you
to
grab
call, I guess.
grab the aluminum and you peel it until
Yeah.
it's like this part, until it's in ribbons. Fold it in half, curl it around the lock, the post of the lock that goes in.
Yeah.
That's got the little latch on it. Mm-hmm. That the thing latches. You push it around that and you push it down and it'll pop that little thing open and you pull the lock out.
See, this would have been so
This is
good
the
to
shit
know.
you learn if you're a criminal kid.
I'd be a horrible
I was like,
criminal.
I got in that door, I came over to this door, I slid my ID in. I was like, I'm in.
See, I need to know these things,
Yeah.
I feel like.
I don't know. And then everybody's like, did you lock the door back on your way out? I was like, oh, yeah. Well, how? Like, well, walked up, opened the garage door, tied a string around the latch to the garage door, brought
Yeah.
it through the hole and out through the main door. And then I closed and locked the main door.
Oh my god.
Went outside the garage door, shut the garage door, pulled the string until it locked it.
This is incredible.
And then broke the string off.
You're a
Like, done.
MacGyver.
Yeah. You
That's
learn
cool.
to do shady shit when you're a shady kid.
I feel like I was a shady kid, but like, I don't know. I wasn't like doing smart stuff, like
Not criminal.
breaking into things. Yeah.
No, we were just smoking weed in the woods behind the house. But
That's cool, though. Now I'll have to.
I need a fresh
try those
beer.
things.
You want a beer? Or are you good?
I've got like more than half of this left.
I drink too fast.
That's okay.
God. Off camera moment.
You're so fast.
It's 3 steps.
I know, but you did those 3 steps so fast. That's so cool that you guys have a little tattoo gun. That's what I want to do.
It's tattoo machine.
Yeah, you're right. People would get mad at
Tattoo
me if
artist
I
will
said
be pissed
that.
off at you if you're saying tattoo gun.
I hear it's like calling people's moms a whore. That's the analogy I've heard. I know, and I still call it a gun on accident. Isn't that horrible?
That's god awful.
Habits die hard, I guess.
I know. It happens, you know. I was a kid. See, there it is. Did you hear it?
Oh, I hear it.
Yeah.
Sounds magical.
Phone noise. Yeah, it sounded like a bug inside. Oh, beer. It's been so nice. I tried to do that sober October bullshit.
How'd it go?
It sort of went. Made it like halfway.
Oh, there you go.
Well, a little more than halfway.
That's
sort
good.
of.
I feel like that's really good.
It's a thing. It's hard to be sober. It's easy to want to be sober. It's hard to
Totally.
actually be sober. I'm like, why? Like, there's beer everywhere and everything, and I don't have to drive anywhere. So why not?
It's true. I feel like it's also like in social situations. I feel like it's super. People are like, oh no, it's easy. Just be like, no, I don't drink. But like, that's not true. If you're like, yeah, I don't drink, then people are like, oh. Like,
No, see, those people can fuck off. I don't care about those people.
I feel like it's always really awkward. People like get super shifty and uncomfortable about it.
Yeah, I don't care about those people.
What do you say to those
I
people?
like the ones that are, what do you mean you don't smoke weed or you don't drink beer or you don't drink this? I'm like, I just fucking don't want to.
That's true.
That's the end of that conversation.
I guess with weed too.
So I
it's
look
the
at
same
them
thing.
and ask them stupid ass questions. I'm like, why don't you drive a Toyota? Why don't you have 7 kids? Like, what the fuck's your problem?
Why don't you have 7 kids? I
Yeah,
love
exactly.
that. I feel like whenever I tell people that like, yeah, I don't really smoke weed, then they're usually like, why? And then I feel like every time you try to explain yourself, it's also similar. I don't like lasagna, and people who hear that I don't like lasagna are like, well, but have you ever tried my lasagna? And
That's
then
exactly what I was
yeah,
going to say.
And then like, it's always
I'm
this
that
thing.
shithead. I'm the same person.
And
I
then
hate.
I don't know. It's crazy. I feel like saying you don't like lasagna makes it to where you have more accessibility to lasagna than anybody who would actually like lasagna. Same with weed or drinking.
Do you not like any Italian food, or is it just?
It's just lasagna. I love pasta, but
Is it ricotta cheese? or-
Yeah, I don't like the ricotta cheese. I don't like the like. It's like a spaghetti cake, but in a bad way. I just don't like.
Spaghetti cake.
I am not into it whatsoever.
That's awesome. No, I hear you. I didn't like. I mean, for the longest time growing up, there's 2 things I hated. There was cottage cheese and garlic.
Oh, interesting. Have your dislikes changed?
Yes, because I grew up not liking a lot of things, and I forced myself to eat them.
Yeah.
Until I did like. Well, my parents forced me, and then grandparents forced me, and then like other shit when I was like, yeah, it got me to be more adventurous with things that I would try. I'm like, yeah, I don't like that, don't like this, don't like that. But then I got so fucking tired of not liking foods.
Oh,
It's like we'd go out and it's like, yeah, they're garlic noodles. I'm like, it sounds fucking amazing.
but
Yeah.
I don't like that. No, I know what you mean. I don't like onions either. Those are like the 2 things. I don't dislike a lot of things, but those are the things that I don't like. Are
Yeah.
onions.
I pushed
and-
myself beyond all of it. I'm like, no, there's nothing I don't like. I mean, there's a thing I don't like,
What is it?
and that's cooked pineapple.
Interesting.
And I'm sure when I was a kid, I probably enjoyed it, but
What do you think about like fruit on pizza in general? Are you like kind of not into it?
like, what other fruit do you put on pizza?
There's a place in Missoula called Biga Pizza, and they have like a flathead
Oh,
cherry
you're from
pizza.
Missoula.
Yeah.
Oh, I think my mom's from Missoula.
What? Your
Or
mom's from Missoula?
Kalispell.
That's awesome.
Something like that.
You're like a Montana. You or did you
No.
ever?
Nope.
So just your mom?
Yep.
I like your
Just
mom.
my mom, my family's.
Your mom's cool.
They did a stint in Montana and Southern California and Idaho, fucking Colorado. Well, we lived all over the place.
I was in Southern California.
I just
when was a
happened to be
baby.
born in Southern California.
Really?
Yeah.
We were in, God, I don't even know what it's called. 29 Palms. It's like kind of by Palm Desert and Palm Springs and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. I know where Palm Springs is.
Yeah, it was kind of by there. I was there when I was really little. My mom had a lot of scary bug stories from that place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I like. Like when I lived in Phoenix, it was Arizona. That's when I found scorpions in my
Oh,
laundry.
In your laundry?
In my laundry. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah, cool.
my God, that's so
That
scary.
and fleas. Oh my God, fleas took over our fucking apartment carpet once. I was like,
What?
well, I'm raiding the whole house. And I did. And I sprayed the whole carpet with Raid. I was like, fuck it. It worked.
I've never seen a flea in real life, I don't think.
Never? Mm-mm. And you have a dog.
I have a dog. She doesn't really have fleas. I think we're really good. We put that flea medicine on her all the time. It smells horrible.
Yeah.
It makes her smell like glue.
I haven't put any on my cat, or Mallory hasn't put any on our cat in like a couple years, and he's flealess. And it's kind of
Really?
cool because like he got fleas really bad a few years ago and got worms.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, poor guy.
That's really sad.
He's a fucking giant cat.
Really?
Yeah, he's part. We know he's part Maine Coon and Russian
God.
Blue and Siamese, but there's something else in there.
Cool.
He's soft as a fucking chinchilla, but he's got like that ringtail. He's
Yeah.
all that grayish blue, and then his tail's ringed and black.
Oh my God, that's
But then
so cool.
his attitude and his face is all Siamese.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's his temperament? Is he kind of like sassy?
He's cunty as fuck. Unless he wants to be lovey. If he wants to be lovey, it is fine.
It's
He's like,
on.
yeah, I'm going to come lay on your face, and you're going to pet me.
And you're going to love it.
I feel like this will get weird. I treat him like a creature that deserves to be in the bed.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he'll bite me, I bite him. Like that's how our relationship works. He came up and he laid on my arm one day when I'm laying there watching Netflix, and it's like 3 a.m. And he licked my arm, so I licked his head. And the next thing you know, I was licking him for like 10 minutes. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm like licking the top of his head, and he's just sitting there purring. I was
He's
like,
I love this.
all right, go away. You're fucking gross. You smell like my breath.
I have never talked to anybody that has licked their cat like that. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You guys must be close now.
Yeah. Me and him are cool. He'll listen to me like some dogs will. Like I've got the cat alphaed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
super important.
I'm like, he'll be like, him and his mom will be playing, and he'll start biting her. And I sit up and I look at him, and he goes, puts his teeth back in. He's like, nope, shit.
Oh no, God.
Yeah. If I see him on the counter, I look at him, he jumps down.
Oh, you really do have it down.
Yep.
My cat is not. He's basically a wild animal, and we kind of keep him that way. But our dog is the exact opposite. Our dog, you can be like, this pasta is bad, and just the fact that you said the word bad, she will like be like, I'm so sorry.
Aw.
Like she is, and she just ears back and is like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry about the pasta.
I can alpha any big dog. Little dogs, I can't.
Really?
They don't give a fuck.
They don't really give a fuck about big dogs
Yeah.
either, though.
Well, then
Or
again,
they're-
I also don't bite them.
That's true. They're kind of too little to bite.
Yeah. I mean, if I bite a small dog, it's because it's well done.
Don't tell me you've eaten dog.
I won't.
Okay, good. We do have a little dog. Oh my gosh, my dad does. His name is Cyrus, and it's kind of funny because my dad grew up like training labs and being like training hunting dogs and stuff like that. And then kind of his last hunting dog passed, and he got a really little dog named Cyrus, and they baby the shit out of that dog. It's so fat, and if you're
that.
eating anything, it will start shivering, like trying to.
Oh God. Oh
yeah,
God.
like he's so excited, and also I feel like and I know this is overthinking it. The dog is not this smart, but it feels like he's trying to psychologically convince you that he's so starving to death that he's shivering because he's cold.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he also gets.
That could also be ancient canine DNA.
That's true.
It could be.
Oh, that's
It's like,
oh.
I'm cold. Let me come close to the fire and nibble on your food.
On your food. Yeah. He also gets titillated when you're eating. If you're eating like ham, he will get, he gets excited.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Yep.
It's very awkward.
Yep. Running around dragging lipstick on the floor. Yeah.
Yep.
Nasty.
Which is kind of disgusting. Like I feel like if any guy like got a boner from food, like he would be shunned publicly.
I do all the time. I even think about food sometimes and I get like these goosebumps. I'm like, oh, I want that so bad. Like it's fucking Scarlett Johansson or some shit.
Sometimes I do play a game called What Food Sounds Good Right Now, but like no one else knows that I'm playing it. So I'll just be like, ooh, what about brownies? And they'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's my own internal game I play with myself all the time.
We have the couples argument about, what are you hungry for? Tacos? No, we had tacos 2 days ago. Pizza? We're having pizza tomorrow. Fucking chicken and rice? I don't want chicken and rice. All right, your turn. Yeah.
That's really
We do it back and forth. It's fantastic.
I like that game.
It's always that, or it's the same with like, what do you want to watch, or what do you want to go do tonight? It's
yeah.
always like, bitch, it's your turn, or it's my turn, or someone, whatever.
My boyfriend is
Fake fight over it for 20 minutes.
Totally, it's the best. The guy I'm dating is extremely patient, so naturally I totally abuse that, and I try to like just fuck with him. And so sometimes he'll be like, what do you want to watch? And I'll be like, oh no, like let's watch what you want to watch. And then he'll say something and be like, oh, not that. And then he'll do that and I'll be like, oh, not that. And we just do that forever, and it's super annoying. And I just see how far I can go before
God,
he's
you're
like,
a horrible person.
Yeah. He's so nice though.
I start saying fucked up shit after a few minutes. It's like, what do you want to watch? How about Iron Man? No, we've already seen it. All right. How about this movie we haven't seen? I don't have any interest in that. How about porn? No, we're not watching porn. The kid's awake. Fine. Turner, go shut the door. You're shit like, no, we're not watching porn. All right, fine.
Fine.
How about the Green Arrow? You know I don't like that shit? All right, amputee porn.
I like that. That's like a nice,
right?
Kind of gets you in the middle.
Exactly.
We have pretty similar tastes in stuff, though, so I'm pretty lucky about that. I like Marvel stuff. He likes Marvel stuff. I also like, there are some, he really likes action movies, like almost to a fault.
Yep.
I kind of like I do like foreign films and like kind of more artistic stuff sometimes, not all the time. I don't want to like be a pretentious douchebag about it,
Yep.
like just sometimes.
I get that one.
Yeah.
I completely understand that.
And so sometimes, I can be like, well, like he thinks, one time I asked him what his favorite Christmas movies were, and he said Die Hard as one of his top Christmas
100%.
movies. I was like,
Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You guys would get along, actually. I have a feeling.
Die Hard is the only Christmas movie.
Only Christmas
so
movie?
I say
Are you
that.
kidding me?
I say that. If you ask my girlfriend what the only Christmas movie is, it's Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's a great film. So
it
is
is.
Die Hard. I'm not saying that Die Hard isn't, but it's not what most people think of as like a Christmas movie.
That's true. Though, like, I never watch old Die Hards again. Like, I watched them when they were new for that year, and then the next Die Hard would come out, and so on and so forth. And
You weren't like, let's go back and re-examine the nuances of
No,
this.
I haven't done that. I have. I know I've scrolled through Die Hard on TV, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to watch this.
I think movies like that too can be really nice, like background stuff. Like I have like categories of movies. Some are like the type where if I'm watching it with someone, like you shush them because like you're like, watch this, it's important, you know, like you have to catch this. And then there are some where it's like
that's me and Mallory with every action movie. I'm like, shut up, watch.
Shh, watch this is important.
She's like, it doesn't matter. It's John Wick. He shoots him in the knee, shoots him in the chest, gets his dog. Game over. All right, I get it.
And then there are like, other movies where you're like there's a very unique, we were talking about bad movies earlier and how we like to watch them. I really like those, especially when it comes to like, you're kind of in a group of people and you choose a movie specifically for how bad it is because it's going to be fun with everybody else to be like, this is so shitty. Like
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes. Or a classic that I found I really liked. We actually watched this on Christmas, so this is a weird favorite Christmas movie. We were up at we were up all night watching really shitty movies on Christmas with a bunch of guys, and it was Sand Shark. Have you ever seen it?
I have not seen Sand Shark.
Oh my God, what is that guy's name? He's orange and he's like a bodybuilder, but his daughter is in it. She's
Hulk Hogan.
Yes,
Brooke Hogan.
Brooke Hogan is in it.
Then you know it's a B movie.
Oh yes, absolutely. She's a star too. She's like what the movie is.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
So it's like less than Sharknado because she couldn't even get in the top of Sharknado.
Yeah. Oh, it's worse than Sharknado.
Oh damn.
Yeah, and it's
Sharknado was fucking great, by the way.
You know what's funny is the most hungover I've ever been. I just remember I was like so sick I could like barely get up all day, and then we were watching TV and the commercial for Sharknado 2 came on and it actually made me throw up. I was like that hungover. It made me actually physically sick because there was just so much going on. But yeah, Brooke Hogan was the star, and like the plot is that there are like sharks that like go through the concrete and the sand and stuff, and
I
like
love it.
Yeah, and we watched it on Christmas and it was amazing.
I have this problem where I have crippling insomnia, so I'm up every night watching movies.
I love it.
I like to I switch it up right now. I'm on an anime stint again.
Oh,
so
I like anime.
I'm like a whole season of anime per night. There we go. I lucked out the other day. I got one that was there were 10-minute episodes and there's only 11 episodes. Ooh. I was like, it was fucking fantastic. It was the best animated anime I've ever seen, and I don't remember the name of it.
Oh my God.
I just watched it. I'll text it to you later.
Yeah,
It was
that was like
fucking great,
you like
though.
sold it so well. You're like, it was the best
It
thing
was
that's ever happened to me. It was
So
life changing.
fucking good. I'm like, this was
it.
awesome. Yeah, like most of the shit I watch late at night has subtitles.
Oh yeah,
Be it
totally.
something Russian or French or some shit. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
I love subtitled movies sometimes.
But every now and then I stumble across a gem and I introduce it to the girlfriend, and sometimes she's like, what the fuck did we just watch? And then sometimes she's like, that was the funniest shit I've ever
That's
seen.
amazing. I can always gauge my significant other's interest because he will just fall asleep immediately if he
Yep.
doesn't like something.
That's Mallory.
Yeah.
Even if she does like it, if it's a movie that she thoroughly, if I put on Boondock Saints and she's just at that right time of night, she's like, I'm just going to go to sleep now.
Actually,
And that's her favorite movie of all time.
that's a great favorite movie. Actually, that's a solid one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he falls asleep at like the drop of a hat.
I wish I had that problem.
I have insomnia sometimes, but I never get like enough motivation to like put on a show, which would be like a great healthy thing for me to do with all of like my thoughts and mental attention. But like I said, instead I usually go down a Reddit, rabbit hole and do that for
Yep.
a long time.
Yeah. That was the big problem when I got 9gag on my phone too, because it scrolls through so much easier than everything else. I'm like, this is the worst thing I could have ever done in my life. And then I got that fucking Wish app.
Oh God, I have the Wish app actually. I have purchased like a couple things from it, but kind of stopped shopping there as much. There, like it's a place.
Yeah.
What am I talking
Stop shopping in China.
about? Seriously. The one thing I got, it was supposed to be like a Peter Pan dress, like it's like a black dress
Aw.
with like, the white collar,
Yeah.
nice little, and I got it and it was made for somebody who is probably half my length. It was like the bottom of the dress was like hip bone length. So not quite.
I was about to say, sounds like the opposite of a problem. That sounds awesome.
It
All
wasn't.
dresses should be that size.
Yeah, it didn't go well. So I realized, if you're going to get stuff from there, it has to be like,
I lost a thing.
what'd you lose?
I don't know.
You don't even know what you lost?
No, I know what I lost. I just don't know where it is. So,
Is it this? Just kidding.
a candy wrapper?
Just kidding.
Oh, it's a candy wrapper.
Oh.
Nope, no idea. Oh. Never mind. I found it. It was hiding from me. It's a piece of the vape stuff.
Are you vaping like pot right now?
No.
Are you doing pot?
Are you doing the pot? No pot. It was a rough week this week, and I took to the nicotine again.
Oh, no sweat. Yeah, I totally get you. I thought that I was like, wow, you are so like well articulated
composed.
for
No.
someone who's ripped right now.
No.
Because I saw you
I'm
were
a
gonna do it in the
one-hit
walk-
wonder. I
Yeah.
take one hit, and I'm like, did you guys know there's a moon?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Nowadays, I mean, back in the day, it was like joint after joint after joint after. What the fuck can I eat to get me higher?
Oh my.
Yeah.
That's
No,
really funny.
nowadays it's ridiculous. On top of that, weed's gotten so fucking strong.
That's so true.
It's like I remember hearing like the strongest weed in the world was 30%. I'm like, bitch, I can buy 30% for $10
easily.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I don't do. Yeah, I'm not crazy into weed anymore. I used to be a little bit more. Also, before I moved to Seattle, like when I lived in Montana, it's illegal. So like, therefore, it's more fun.
Feloniously
I guess.
illegal. It is so
Yeah.
fucking bad out
Oh,
there.
it's so bad.
North Idaho.
Oh yeah.
Coeur d'Alene.
Yep. So
I had a friend go to jail for 3 years for a lighter
What?
that had resin on it. Yeah.
that just like made me choke up almost.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, 'cause he was, or no, it was like 3 years was his total, but he got out on bail or something. But it was still,
That's
it was
incredibly
fucking disgusting.
Oh my
And it was
God.
because he was on probation.
Oh,
and
that'll fuck you.
even I knew it wasn't his lighter, but it was in his car.
Oh no.
I'm like, that's fucky.
That's horrible. Yeah, I mean, we used to like, we were like in high school and we'd do like crazy little high school girl stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
And I do remember actually in college, me and my friend came to Seattle for Bumper Shoot, and this is kind of when I started to be like, all right, maybe I'm gonna like slow down, and not smoke as much or do as many weed related things. But we went to Bumper Shoot, we went to a weed shop, and it was like so weird to be in a weed shop in the first place because it's not legal where we're from. And so we got candy bars, and I was smart enough to ask the guy selling them to us, like, how much of this should I have if I want to be, like, you know, okay.
When was this?
This was probably 2 years ago.
So it was a medical shop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or, well, I don't know. We didn't have to say anything about, I don't know. It wasn't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was it before the laws were all laid down and perfect and shit?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. It was somebody that owned a medical shop that was like, we're just going to operate under recreational shit for now.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it was really weird, too. Like, you had to show... It was not like any shop I've been to now. Like, you had to show up, you rang the doorbell, they would buzz you, and they would tell you to show your ID to, like, a camera.
They were a medical shop.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, we showed our ID to the camera, and then they, like, led you back down this hallway where there was just, like, really weird pot-related art. It just seemed so sketchy and weird and, like, back, you know, undergroundish. And
Yep.
anyways, so I asked him about the candy bar, how much I should have. He said, like, a square. My friend got the same brand of candy bar, but she got, like, a different flavor. I got, like, dark chocolate. She got white chocolate. And, you know, we assumed that it was all going to be the same amount.
Yeah.
And so I was, like... We went to Bumbershoot, and everyone says the problem with Bumbershoot is that, like, you know, waiting in lines to get into the places is crazy. Well, we got into the stadium, and then we were just, like, toasted. Like, we just sat there all day. Like, couldn't even stand up to get water. And I was, like, too high to go get a water bottle from the cashier. Like, I was like, I don't want to even talk to anybody. Like, I just am going to sit here. And then I was fine after that. And my friend was not. She was, like, she wasn't, you know, freaking out or anything, but, like, I've, like, never seen her like that. She had, like stoner face, and, like, she couldn't do anything. She just kept saying that she wanted to go home. And the next day, she ended up sleeping until, like, 4 p.m. And so, you know, she was...
Been that high. It's great.
Yeah. And so we ended up looking, and apparently her candy bar had, like, 4 times the amount of THC that mine had.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But she was, like, not liking it. She hated it.
Yeah.
And we were staying at someone else's house too that she had never been at before, so she just wasn't into it. But, you know, so I didn't decide to do that much anymore. Or I guess I decided, I was like, well, I should be a little more cautious, I guess.
After doing edibles and dabs and shit, I was like, no, I think I'm good now.
I've never dabbed either.
Don't.
I don't think I want to.
I had a friend that took him like 4 months to be able to pass a P test after he was dabbing.
Really?
Because
it just gets in your system and everything hardcore.
Yeah, and he's not a big guy. He's a small dude, and he's active and shit, and he could have sweated out, but he was like, no, it's just when you dab, it just stays in you for so fucking long. He was buying a P test every week from CVS.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that gets expensive because those are like $30-$40.
Yeah, those are expensive.
I was like, Jesus, that sucks.
Yeah, I don't really smoke that much either. And that's the thing, I guess we're talking about lasagna and everything. People will be like, oh, you don't really smoke weed, and I'll be like, no, like, I'm more anxious, and so if I smoke weed, like, it just kind of makes it worse. And people will be like, oh, no, you have to try this type of weed, it'll make it way better. Which is, like, I totally understand that they're coming from a place of trying to be helpful.
It's legitimately true in some cases, but there is an aspect to marijuana that makes you paranoid, and some people convert that paranoia, or it's self-reflective, and some people convert it to paranoia or anxiety.
Yeah, and it's also like, I think it's also like a control thing. Like when you feel like you're not quite perfectly in control of the way that you're like perceiving things, you kind of like want to hit the brakes and panic and stuff. So, you know, I think it's kind of funny because in Seattle too, since it's like such a common thing, it's like drinking, you know, people are like, you know, everybody should smoke weed.
There was a weed bar like, for a minute.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
you could go in and just smoke weed in the bar. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, like, kind of people just think that, like, everybody should smoke weed. I don't even know if I believe in that, though. Like, I think some people...
I don't.
Yeah, I think some people probably shouldn't smoke weed, and some
I believe
people,
everybody should smoke weed. I think everybody should do the majority of drugs. Not, you know, at least once.
Just to try it.
Yeah,
and, like,
everybody should smoke one bowl. I feel like everybody should do one hallucinogen.
I agree with, like, trying some stuff.
People probably shouldn't do amphetamines and opiates.
Probably no meth.
Yeah, not the things that are heavily addictive. If you are not hyper addictive and you feel, I'm not condoning drugs here.
Everybody try meth.
Yeah, everybody try meth. Fucking. Who needs all your teeth?
What have you got to lose?
Who needs all your teeth?
Just
you don't
once.
need that car. Sell it. You can buy more meth. Fucking.
No, I hear what you're saying. I think you should be open in, like, to new experiences and everything like that. But I also feel like some people kind of have this mentality where they're like, well, I do this thing and I really like it. And it's like, well, that's cool. But like, not everybody is as cool as you, man.
True.
You know? Like, so it's hard to be
It's still weird to like see this too. Like I know a handful of artists that don't partake. And it's a bizarre thing because I never would have expected it before. Like discovering this space with all these artists down here.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Like, so you don't get high and paint?
Nope.
Never?
No, I mean,
have you ever tried to?
I had tried to in college and stuff like that. But it makes me a way shittier painter. Like, I will look at my stuff later and be like, wow, that's not nearly as good.
It might be shitty, like, the quality of it, but do you think, like, the idea of it, of what you thought of, might be better?
That's an interesting question. I think that my enthusiasm is certainly better.
Right.
I think my ideas are better when I'm, if I was stoned, I'd probably be like, oh my God, that's brilliant.
Yep.
So I think my own, like, confidence in, like, if my ideas are good or not is better. But I also don't know if that's necessarily, like, means that my ideas are actually better. I think sometimes part of like coming up with a really great idea is kind of like having the idea, being like, well, that's a great start, but let's continue to think about it and not like kind of putting it on a pedestal. So I think
it definitely does spawn some creativity. It opens up some fragmented parts of the mind that aren't quite there yet. And then it's like, oh shit, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. But you also have a hard time articulating one syllable words. So
it's true, yeah. And my attention span is like much worse.
Exactly, like
same
paintbrush,
with, like,
TV, turtle, Reddit,
pizza rolls. Like
we should put pizza rolls in the ice maker.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's also the same with like, I don't know. I guess now that I live in Seattle and I have for a while, and like weed has been readily accessible, it also doesn't have the same rebellion aspect to me. So it's like, it's kind of like drinking. Like it would be like if people are like, oh wow, you don't drink and paint. Like I have before. I've tried to drink, especially like live painting. Sometimes you can get some nerves, so you're like, oh, I'll have a couple drinks. It probably makes me more enthusiastic and like talkative and everything, but not necessarily like a better painter. So
I think my favorite thing used to be to I would get really high and I would put on some headphones, listen to music, and I would try and write stuff down. Anything. Had nothing to do with it. I would maybe write down song lyrics I thought of. Maybe I write down things that I thought were funny or what my day was or just a story that I came up with in my head. And it was like so much fun. And then, reading it the next day, I'm like, Jesus, dude.
It's so true.
We could dial this in, but what the fuck?
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is like, even if I have an idea, I guess, like I said, like it makes me not second guess myself if I was to be high. But if I'm not high, looking at my high thoughts, then I like triple guess myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I don't even know if that's...
You just have to agree with it. Be like, yo, it's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
But let's roll with it.
It's true.
So you do... let's get back on track with more art stuff.
Where are we going? This is crazy.
I don't even know what time it is. I got it. It is 8:15.
Okay.
Okay. So we're doing okay. We've been here. We've been doing this for about an hour now. Hour and a half ish.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Got here late. It's weird construction out back. But
traffic.
Why do you think you do big pieces?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You have a lot of fucking big pieces, man.
I do. I really like big pieces. And I think there's a couple of reasons I like big pieces the best. I think that the best art, whether it's like music or even like poetry or like visual arts, I think the best stuff is like really immersive, like where you kind of get to suspend the rest of reality, even movies, like where everything else isn't like a priority and it's just the artwork that's kind of like dominating the moment. And I think that's easiest to do with really large scale pieces. I think people are more willing to like lend themselves to being kind of like, completely absorbed by something that's like bigger than they are.
So do you do all your pieces in a single setting?
Like a single go, like just ready, set, go. Depends on how complex it is. If it's a live painting, I do try to get as much of it done as possible, just because like, if people are watching something, they're not going to want me to like work
Yeah.
on a fin for fucking 3 hours, even
True.
though I like to do that personally.
I hear you.
But I am also kind of slow. So like, did you ever get to make it to like Dozer's warehouse?
I didn't.
That was a cool piece like that I did, but it took me a really long time, especially compared to all of the spray painters that were in there.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a lot of, for whatever reason, a lot of events I end up getting kind of handed to me are like associated with spray painters and graffiti artists and stuff, and they're all so much faster than me. Like, it's crazy. So I do try to do all my stuff in like as few of goes as possible, but I've also become extremely aware of like how long it takes me to do stuff. I am kind of a slow worker.
And or just like when you do something quick and then you look at it afterwards, you're like, fuck.
Yeah,
You've done so much better.
exactly.
I see it all the time because, you know, I'm down here with artists and I live with one. And so it's like I watch her paint all the time. I'm like, I watched a whole movie and you did stars. It's like, yeah,
so true.
but they're perfect.
But they're
legit.
amazing. Yeah, I actually kind of have a process where I will do like the general gist of something, and then I try to like tune it in. So like I don't necessarily, you know, I'm not like, oh, okay, I'm going to paint like a fish, and then I just like, you know, perfectly start at the head of the fish and finish it towards the tail. It's more like I'm going to paint the shape of a fish, and then I'm going to go in and do like the highlights and the lowlights, and then I'm going to do like the scales, and I kind of try to like put myself into little projects like that. So
I tried to paint a couple times.
How'd it go?
I'm not.
Did you
nothing
like
special.
it?
I liked doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the creative mind for it. I feel like even now, if I started painting, I would mimic somebody that I've seen.
It's so hard not to, though.
It is.
It's almost impossible not
It
to.
is. I've got to imagine. Like the other day, I was talking to somebody about making like zombies that came out of the ground that were made out of like you take grocery bags and you wrap them around shit and then you hit it with a heat gun and it melts and it looks like ripping
I've made
flesh.
a jellyfish like that
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's exactly like what my friend Tony does. I'm like, son of a bitch.
I mean, that's how you get like inspired to do stuff too, but
It
you got to
is.
like try to put your own.
Yes. I love inspiration. I despise mimicry.
Yes.
And it is a very, very fine line there. And it does take a huge creative leap to figure out that line, which
It's true.
I know I don't have.
Well, maybe, I mean, the first time I ever painted anything, my dad was like, you should try painting. Maybe you'll like it. And he set me up, and I just got really frustrated, and I just wrote, painting sucks in paints on a canvas, and just walked away. And he came back in here, and he was like, all right, she doesn't like painting.
Right.
And it wasn't until I didn't even start actually like giving a shit about art until probably my senior year in high school. I had an art teacher that I like had the hots for, and I was like, art's cool. And
Right. Yeah, that's everyone.
yeah.
I had a girlfriend once who was like, I'm really into social studies. Like, Jesus.
Like, great.
What was his name?
So, you know, maybe it just takes, and I sucked at art for a really long time. I feel like, honestly, even like what you were just saying, like it's really easy to like find something that you like from someone's and then just like copy it. And then like if you try to add your own twist, sometimes it can be really disappointing because you'll be like, oh, but this sucks when I put my own twist
Yeah.
on it. Theirs is so much better.
Or what's worse is when you come up with something, you're like, oh, I fucking love that. And then you're like, you're like Google searching design opportunities for that, and you see somebody that's done exactly what you were thinking. You're like, motherfucker.
And it's like perfect
Yeah.
and glorious.
There's somebody I've been meaning to actually. I've emailed her a few times about coming on, but she's like from Enumclaw. She does this dope like wood paintings.
Ooh.
So fucking cool.
That's awesome.
Really cool. I'll show you her stuff when we're done with this. But I mean, amazing stuff. I love it. And I was like, fuck. On top of that, it's way better than I ever could have thought of doing. So
See, that's kind of the cool part. I really like meeting artistic people because it's so fun to kind of see what they have going on, but it's also kind of like it's a give and take type thing. Like sometimes you're like, oh my God, they're so good. They're so inspiring and so cool. And then you're kind of like, fuck. Like,
yep. Or you see somebody's stuff and you're like, I could do that. And then it's like their next stuff. You're like, oh, I couldn't do that.
yeah, exactly. Or you'll see something that's like, you feel like you could do better than, and it's like already sold for like several $1,000s.
Yeah,
and you're like, great. That's
I would
fantastic.
have that in my bathroom for 8 years before somebody wanted it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a wonderful thing about art, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to catch the eye of the person that wants it. That's the way, like, I'm eyeballing right now Rob's stuff. Everything he fucking does, I'm like, you son of a bitch.
He's a magician.
He is.
He's not even an artist. He's a magician.
No, I'm
just kidding.
He's
a great artist.
Fantastic creature.
Yeah, seriously. I love
just the shit that comes out of his brain, and he comes up with, like, we did a totem thing. I don't know if you saw that. His fucking bison.
Cool. It was amazing.
I was like, you son of a bitch.
I know. I feel like he paints a lot of animals, and I feel like every animal I see, I'm like, that's my spirit animal.
Yeah.
No, that one is like.
Yeah.
But
mine's the elephant right there. It just sits there.
It's such a cool elephant.
It's so dope.
It's amazing. I really like it.
It's not mine. It's actually his. I'm just saying that's my spirit animal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
It just sits there, and it's made out of plywood.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Right?
Yeah, I think he's so cool. I saw his show one time at Access, and he said that he spent like years and years on a piece.
Yeah.
And like that's also kind of I want to get started into more stuff like that. Like I have a couple ambitions. I'd like to have like a cohesive series because I kind of have like art ADD where I'm like, I want to paint animals. I want to paint flowers. I want to paint the
animals
galaxy.
with flowers.
Yeah, and so it's kind of hard because like I haven't quite come up with a series that is like, this is my underlying idea and what I'm saying about society or like whatever the fuck I want to say. So I definitely want to do a series, but I also want to have like a couple paintings where I like work on them for a couple years. That's so cool. And it takes so much patience, which I haven't cultivated yet. But
yeah,
someday.
Patience is a rough one. But I mean, obviously you're sticking to it and you're doing your dues with these fucking fantastic pieces. Is this painted or is this?
I actually drew that on paper with some markers. I did it on a Greyhound bus one year. I used to go to Sundance all the time, and I would just draw on the bus because it's really scary and you have to like not look at people.
Don't make eye contact.
Yeah, so I would just draw. And that was on the way to Sundance one time.
The reason you don't make eye contact on a Greyhound bus, 100%, the reason why is because nothing bad is probably going to happen to you, but you might make eye contact with a guy who has his dick in his hand.
Maybe,
like
yeah.
It's one of those weird things, or with a child that's putting a booger in their mouth at that moment.
Well, that exact year, actually, once I got there, this was so shitty. So I still had to go back on the Greyhound bus, but a guy told me a story about how he heard a thing on a podcast about, it was like a crazy murder podcast, where this kid who was younger was riding a Greyhound bus and had his headphones on. And he fell asleep in the back, and this crazy ass murderer stabbed him, cut his fucking head off, and stopped. Like everybody exited the bus, they locked the bus down, and this murderer was just walking back and forth in the aisles, holding this kid's head, and the police like were having a standoff with him. And I was like, thank you so much for telling me that before I get to ride the bus for 18 hours back to Montana.
Holy shit, that's fucking rad. I love that story. I'm going to look that shit up.
Oh, so scary. Scary. I hate it.
It could be worse.
How could that possibly be worse? You got your head cut off while you were sleeping.
You could be awake when it happened.
I don't know if that's better. He probably woke up halfway through getting his head cut off. Don't you live for like a couple seconds after your head gets cut off?
I have no idea. I've never tried. Don't plan on it for a minute.
I feel like chickens do. Isn't that the rumor?
Chickens don't. They don't live.
Their bodies run around?
Yeah, they don't run around. They fall over and they keep moving.
That's the thing. There's a whole expression like running around like a
yes, but that doesn't mean that it's alive. That means that it's having muscle convulsions and its nerves are still firing at full bore.
You got to think the brain is like the same way. I think. I don't know.
But if the brain's detached from the body, it's not getting blood. It's not getting oxygen. The brain might still live just off of the oxygen it has for like a minute or something. So you might still be thinking.
Oh, can you imagine? I don't even want to imagine. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight now.
I can imagine the thoughts too. To be like, son of a bitch.
I'd be so pissed at that guy.
My whole thought process would be everything I've seen from like robots and TV shows. No, body, over here. Over here. I'd go straight bender on it and be like, no, wrong way.
No.
Wake up, Buckhead. I'm not on you anymore.
I think if I actually ended up being conscious and some guy was like holding my head and stalking a Greyhound bus aisle, my last act of defiance would be to just try to scare the shit out of that guy and say something.
Right.
I guess. What else do you do?
I don't know. Do you still have motor skills at that point, though? Like
That's
to
a
move
good
your...
point. Could you move your jaw or anything? This took a weird turn, so...
It did. It went from eating spiders to zombie heads on.
Yeah, we had a very
Greyhounds.
spooky talk, didn't we?
A little bit.
I wonder if it's because
It was a
of
very
Halloween.
spooky. That was like three creepy things with you
That's a
scaring some
lot.
poor old lady in the woods.
That's like 4 things, probably.
Yeah.
Spiders.
Scaring poor old ladies in the woods with a fucking potato peeler.
I'm sure I look so menacing. I feel bad for her. She was so sweet.
Oh. Well, that's nice.
She
Like,
was really nice.
That's
but
pretty cool. I have, as my size and gender, have a hard time anybody, if I'm in the dark, being nice to me at all.
Oh, I bet people
Yeah.
probably like walk to the other side of the road and
No,
alley
I'm
or
not
whatever.
black. Jesus. I'm just kidding. That's fucked up to say, too. No, I had an incident where I broke down on the freeway on I-90 halfway to Idaho. It was like fucking exit 175 or some shit like that. It was like
Oh
a
my
fucking rest
God.
stop. I broke down there. I asked the dude, I was like, yo, you see my car down there? That little red one? And he's like, yeah. I was like, do you think you can drive me to it? And he's like, no. I'm like, motherfucker, you're going right there, dude. I'm
He just said no to you,
You can
too.
pat me down.
That's
For
even
money.
creepier. Yeah, that's no wonder he said no.
Right? Fucking weirdo hanging at a bus stop
Trying
asking to
get
pat
people
me down.
rub him and stuff. Who knows? God.
Yeah, whatever. Hell with people.
I usually don't scare people when I'm out and about. Although I feel like I'm tall enough to where I could be like a threat if I.
It's true. And you typically have some sort of levitation on.
I've always got my levitation turned on.
Yeah. Heels or whatever.
That's true.
Elevation. Thank you.
Elevation.
Fuck.
I like levitation. I prefer that, actually.
Floats.
Yeah, I do like Doctor Strange, so I like that you say levitate. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I've never been considered a threat, really, even though I feel like I could be. I feel like I could hold my own physically. I've never been in a physical fight of any kind,
Wow.
but I feel like I could. Maybe I'm just even more aggression pent up
That's
since I've never.
the one thing that I'm always surprised about when girls are like, I'm scared of being attacked. I'm like, have you ever been attacked? No. Then why are you scared? I've been attacked like 20 times by random people in the dark.
You have?
Yeah.
What
Well,
do you
not-
do when you're
not
walking
20
around? Do you
times.
just shout
Probably-
offensive
probably
things?
4.
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
Do you just yell slurs as you walk
I
around?
think it's more along the lines of I'm not afraid to walk down an alley, you know,
Oh,
where a lot of people are going to take 3 blocks out of their way on a lit street instead of
Right.
walking down a dark alley.
have all of your attacks happened in alleys?
None of them. Well, one in fucking Idaho, nonetheless, from a hobo.
Wow, what an
Yeah.
asshole.
I know,
Sounds like a dick.
right? I was just trying to go score some drugs. You're a dick.
Were you like asking him for drugs? Or
No,
were you
I wasn't asking a hobo for drugs. I don't want those kind of drugs. I'm sitting there. You have any drugs? I got some Jankum. Been shitting in a bucket for a month. You can huff that. That's Jankum, by the way.
I was gonna ask, what's Jenkum?
Yep, they piss and shit in a
No,
bucket
no.
and seal it up, and it ferments and it creates a gas that gets you high as fuck.
That's an actual thing.
It's a real thing.
Oh my god.
You know the worst part? Rock stars used to do it on their tour buses.
What?
Yeah. Yep.
Ugh. I thought rock stars just like did heroin.
They did
mostly.
everything.
It's true. The
Everything.
rock stars.
They'd be like, fuck it, smoke some weed, shoot some heroin, take some crank, fucking little LSD, fuck this girl, smoke some Jankum, whatever.
Get some hookers.
Do you smoke Jankum?
yeah,
No.
you probably
you
can't
just
smoke
huff it.
How do you even?
It'd
direct
probably be
it?
flammable.
Ew, that's so.
Trying to
gross.
smoke my Jankum and my bus blew up.
Jankum also just sounds like the exact type of drug you don't want to do. Just like the
That's
name
true.
is like so bad that you're like, yeah, I'm not
Like when
interested.
somebody says crank.
yeah.
No.
No, I'm good.
That had to be a hit in like the 80s, though. Some girl, you want a crank? Yes.
anything went in the 80s.
Like, what do you mean by a crank? Is it,
What do you mean by
oh, a drug? No.
Oh, that's okay.
No.
I'm okay.
Trying to crank my gearbox.
My pog.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't think I would ever do any of those things. The 80s, everybody did everything, though.
Yeah.
Cocaine was just like a cool thing, man.
Right.
I think that's why the economy was so good back then, probably.
Coke's,
Everybody was just coked out.
Coke's a little too dope.
Let's make money.
Coke's a little too awesome.
And
It's one of those things,
expensive.
it's like, yeah. I don't know. They need to legalize Coke. Fuck it.
That's probably next. Probably not,
No,
actually. What am I saying?
don't
That's
do that.
absurd.
Definitely legalize hallucinogens and just regulate it to be like, you can only do it at home.
That's true, because people do crazy things. One guy in my...
You're driving down the freeway and you see that guy shoveling mushrooms in the face. It's like, this is going to be dope.
This is gonna be fun. People do crazy things on mushrooms, though. There was a guy in my... I don't know if it was acid or mushrooms, but in Missoula, there was a guy who went to a mall and thought that a security guard was a giant lizard that was attacking him. So he beat him to death with a shovel. So you got to be careful with your hallucinogens, I guess.
I want to say only in Montana, but I'm sure that story could happen at any fucking mall. So only in malls.
Only in malls.
Yeah.
Don't visit your local mall.
When you're high on mushrooms.
Yeah. Or if you're not, because you don't want to be mistaken for a giant
I
lizard.
never had that, though. I tried to have bad trips. I did. Everybody was like, you're going to have a bad trip. And I was like, never. I'm always too happy. And I never had a bad trip. And so
that sounds hard.
I took mushrooms and I went to go see the movie Signs.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What?
I had a problem with aliens back in the day. Like, E.T. scared the fucking piss out of me.
Aliens.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like the idea of aliens. I hope that they are
But
out there. But
Signs, and then, okay, so I love this story. This is one of my favorites.
yes.
So here's the movie theater that I used to roller skate to.
Okay, wait. You
here's my
roller
house.
skated when
Yeah.
you... Okay,
Yeah.
exciting.
Here's
Yes.
my house,
Okay.
which is right here. The road goes right by the movie theater, goes around this long path, and goes up to my house. It's like a mile and a half.
Okay.
Or this is all woods, and there is a trail that goes right to my backyard.
Oh, God.
I was about 10 feet into the woods by the time I was at a full sprint. Fastest I had ever ran. Like, my high school coach would have been like, fuck yeah.
Are you carrying your roller skates?
Yeah. Booking it. I would trip over a log. I'd roll it out, get up, and keep running. I was bleeding when I got home. I was terrified as fuck. I got home and turned the sprinklers on and shit. I grabbed a super soaker, loaded it up with water. I'm sitting there in my bedroom just laughing to myself like, you fucking tard.
That's amazing.
But it was like, still wasn't a bad trip because right when I got home, I realized I'm like, you're a fucking idiot.
That sounds fun. Like, that doesn't sound bad. That sounds
A
fun.
little bit. But like, we'd get our friends high on mushrooms when we were camping. And when they were sleeping, we'd grab them by the ankles and drag them out of their tent and watch them freak out.
Oh my God. That is like the meanest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, one of the guys decided we were going to go into the woods, which was like his friend's tent was right down the end of this pathway.
Mm-hmm.
And so he tied a rope to his foot when he was sleeping and literally, no, not his foot. That's right. We had him freak out because he was the one high on mushrooms. We agreed to it, but the two people he was sharing a tent with agreed to this. We tied ropes to their feet and ripped them out of the tent. And he fucking freaked out. He got out of the tent in his underwear and started running down the side of the river.
Oh my God.
And everybody gave him shit. They're like, see what kind of friend you are. You just booked it when your friends were getting pulled out into the woods. He's like, bitch, I was high on mushrooms.
Yeah, poor guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Is he like okay to this day? Or?
No, he died.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is the saddest ending to the like saddest story.
He didn't die from that. He went out with a few friends one night and they were all jumping off this bridge in Post Falls that we used to jump off of all the time into the river. And the dam was closed.
Oh,
and he,
no.
yep.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
so sad.
I know. One of my favorite drummers of all time.
I'm sorry. That's
It's okay. It happens. It happens to the best of us. He was a great person. He just,
You just had to go.
Yeah.
Well, cheers to him.
I know, right?
What was his name?
Aaron.
Cheers to Aaron.
Aaron Hayes.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I know.
I mean, that's a crazy story, though.
Shit.
Sounds like he lived a hell of a life.
He did.
So.
He was a great human. Weird shit happens to people like that, though, you know? It's like, I had an uncle who was riding a Vespa and just got tapped by a Mercedes, and I think it broke his neck. Like,
what?
yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
It was when I was a baby, but there's so many weird circumstances. Sorry, Grandma, if you heard that. I know it's still hard on you. But yeah, there's shit like, I mean, my dad died a couple years ago. He was working on somebody's house, and like, for some reason, when they were gone, he got on their tractor and rolled the tractor over on himself.
Oh, fuck, dude. That's
Right?
so sad. I'm so sorry.
And
That's shitty.
He was dad for like 8 minutes, so
Oh, my God.
one of those situations. But it was like weird deaths.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many weird ones. We have in Missoula, we have a thing called Max's Wave that's like named after a guy who was, everybody loved him. And he was out kayaking, and he died kayaking because he flipped his kayak over and he got stuck upside down and just drowned to death, which is like pretty rare. I feel like that almost never happens.
Yeah, if you can kayak and you have a kayak with a skirt, you can flip it.
Yeah.
It's if you have a kayak without a skirt, that fucker will just suck you in. I've done that.
Yeah, and that's just how he died, and so like people remember him that way. And I mean, it's crazy.
It could have been one of those things too. Like some people don't wear helmets when they're. And I'm like, that's dangerous because then you get flipped over and it just drags you down the rocks. So on that note,
always wear a helmet.
Right? Always wear a helmet.
I do have kind of a scary story about my friends agreeing to something that I didn't know, and it's Halloweenish, which Halloween was recently, so I feel like it's relevant. And you were talking about just scaring the shit out of your friends, and this happened to me. Are you familiar with what a corn maze is? Mm-hmm. So in Missoula, they have huge corn mazes because it's, you just drive 40 minutes, you're like in the open country. So they had this giant corn maze, a huge cornfield, and they, cut a maze into it, and then they hire people with chainsaws to just chase you.
Yep.
One of the guys working, my friends knew. I did not know any of this going in. And they told him to just keep chasing me no matter what.
Oh, that's fucked up.
It was so fucked up. And at first, like, I'll admit, I kind of deserved it because when he first came to chase us, I, like, pushed my friend down and tried to run away because I got so scared. I was, like, just terrified. But he kept chasing me, and I had so much adrenaline. There was, like, an 8-foot wooden fence, like, kind of like this kind of fence, that I just scaled because I was so scared. But, of course, he worked there, so he just knew how to fucking open the fence and get out. So he chased me all the way to the parking lot.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, outside of the maze. Like, not even where you're supposed to end.
That's dedication.
Oh, yeah.
I would have gone that hard, too, though.
Oh, and I'm sure it was hilarious because I was, like, crying and, like, just so scared. Because if you think about it, that would be the perfect time to murder somebody. Like, if you were dead,
there's chainsaws running all over the place.
Yeah, and if you're a dead body,
people are screaming, and
and like people would just be,
joke.
They'd think I was like a prop or something if I was dead, and so I got like free go-kart rides or something out of it because they felt so bad because I was so scared afterwards.
There you go.
So it worked out for the best, but it was terrifying, and friends can be mean
and awesome
at the
same time.
Yeah, I'll never forget
that
that. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, and now I'm so much braver. If someone chases me with a chainsaw, I am now aware that I can scale an 8-foot fence.
Yeah,
That's knowledge.
I always liked disappearing acts when I was scaring people. If I could find a way to completely hide myself from their view with the quickness, they'd freak the fuck out. Like, it's amazing how often I've managed to get that to work, too.
That's kind of like hide and seek, but new school, like scary hide and seek.
I learned as a kid, I always had insomnia. I've always had it. I've always had a hard time sleeping, so I know how to walk silently. And I do it all the time. Even at work. I'll be at work and I'm walking up an aisleway and somebody's like, fuck, I didn't know you were behind me. I'm like, I'm wearing steel toe boots and I got fucking shit jingling off my belt, but nobody notices. It's because I, for some reason, instinctively just walk quietly. So yeah, if I can be talking to somebody and then while they're talking, I'll wane off and hide behind a tree and they're like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
Or like I was hanging out of the foot of the bed one day and I was grabbed the blanket and I was straightening it out on the bed and I put it up and just then I noticed it came down and I had the perfect timing. I just dropped silently. And I heard my girlfriend yell. She's like, Travis,
where did you go?
It was great. At that moment when I popped up, she's like, I fucking thought you really disappeared.
That's amazing. We play that game with our dog all the time. We will, like, if we're walking home, we'll take turns to, like, pay a lot of attention and make sure our dog's, like, you know, absorbed in us. And then the other one will, like, hide behind a post. And the dog will look up and be like, what the fuck? Where did they go? And then she'll, like, run back and forth until she finds us. And it's, like, our favorite game.
That's fucking awesome. That's one of my favorite things.
Oh, hide and seek is the best.
It is.
That's also how I don't want to say flirt. That's not the right word. But, like, how I play with young children.
I was about to say, how you flirt with young children.
No, that's even worse. But, like, you know, if you see a little kid and you're like, I want to make them laugh. You know, I want to play with them. Yeah. And so you, like, do the hide and seek thing. And they love it. It's a crowd favorite.
Gotcha. It's like a weird way to flirt is you're essentially stalking people. I'm just going to hide from you and you're not going to know.
You'll have no idea. It's going to be super sexy.
That's how we flirt with people is from the tree outside their window.
That's, I mean, definitely atypical. You would be very unique.
Yeah.
So.
Well, not really. There's creeps.
That's
the one thing creeps. I've been proud of my whole life is I've always been a creep, but not that fucking creepy.
Creeps, I mean, there's different types of creeps, and, you know, I feel like you're not the bad type of creep.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I've always been the kind of creep that was like, if I hit on somebody at a bar and then they were like completely turned off, I will literally turn to their friend and do the same thing. It's like, not a great creep, but not the hiding in your tree creep.
Yeah, not the worst type of creep.
Yeah.
That's
definitely go for quantity over quality. Not hanging out outside of people's houses.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I did have a moment where I felt really creepy when I was like in high school. Yeah, I was in high school. And I was like, we were walking around one New Year's and we met this girl and she took us back to her room at the resort and we all got baked and we left. For some fucking reason we left. No fucking idea why. I was like, I feel like it was one of my retarded friends was like, let's go do something else. Like, there's girls here, bro.
There's girls here.
In a hotel room. But no, like, I was walking up the street one day and I saw this girl on her porch and I was like, fuck, she had a cigarette. I wanted a cigarette. I asked her, I was like, oh, you get a cigarette I can steal from you? And she's like, is that guy from the hotel room? I was like, holy fuck. And she's like, are you following me? I was like, is that a problem?
How upset would you be if that was yes?
Yeah. I want to say no, but I mean, now I know where you live. So yeah, that didn't work out too well.
That's hilarious. I've never, not that I know of, I don't know. It's hard to be creepy if you're a girl. I feel like I haven't had too many moments where I felt creepy, I guess.
I've had girls that were creepy, be creepy in a weird, like one girl that lived above me in Phoenix. It's like every time I would come out of the house, I knew she'd hear the door and she'd come out.
Oh, that's
immediately
really creepy.
And like just come hang out and talk to me for a minute. Like I'd be outside barbecuing or something and she'd just come out and talk. I was like, all right.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It was a little weird because when we first moved in, I was like, this chick's hot. Like she's really good looking. And then it was like a week later, she came down and talked to us, and I realized she was slow. Oh. She was actually like, something was wrong. And I was like, yeah. It feels weird to think that you're hot now.
You were like, oh, I feel strange about my feelings.
Creepy as fuck for me, and you don't make it any better. Like, because even worse than that, it was like at the time I was married.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
So I'm like, all right, yeah, this is weird.
This is getting weird. Yeah, I've never done anything too creepy, I don't think. But it's possible I have on accident, maybe, you know? I think everybody's been creepy on accident, probably.
Or on purpose.
Or on purpose.
Fuck it.
For sure. Yeah. Is that a bug?
There was a bug.
Don't eat it.
I won't. I didn't catch it.
Good.
I tried.
One thing I did do that was kind of creepy when I was really young. This isn't even creepy. It's just embarrassing, and you killed a bug almost, so it made me think of it. One time over winter break, I accidentally left a peach in my locker. So when I came back, there was a bunch of fruit flies, and I asked, there was a boy walking. So I had to get pulled out of class to clean out my fucking locker because they were like, your education is less important than your sanitary habits, apparently.
That's true in general.
Yeah, and so I asked a boy that was walking by if he would just grab the peach and like put it in the garbage, which is not creepy, but probably inappropriate. I should probably clean up my own mess.
So it's a little creepy depending on how you ask. Some boy's walking down the hallway and you're like, hey, will you grab my peach?
That's actually funny.
Come over here, trump it up. Huh?
This is the second time I've heard someone use peach in that way, and I've never heard it before, like this past probably week.
Really?
Yeah, and it's, it's a new thing. That
Have you ever watched Con Air?
No.
Was it Con Air? No, Face Off.
Ooh,
Nicolas Cage and John Travolta.
I've seen Face Off for some reason, but I was
I
way
could eat
young.
a peach for hours.
I think I was too young. I think that went over my head.
Watch it again. That's my favorite creepy Nicolas Cage when he looks at a girl and he's like, you like peaches? I could eat a peach for hours, and then just bites into it. I was like,
Oh my god.
oh no, that's right. He like ran his tongue up the crevice of the peach and then bit it. I was like,
Oh, that's terrifying.
I was a kid and I was like, I think I love Nicolas
I
Cage.
think I'm in love. I used to work at a video rental place, and one of my roommates, I used to live with like 5 guys. One of my roommates called and asked me if I could read to him and he was prank calling me. I thought he was an actual customer. If I could read every single Nicolas Cage movie that we had to him in alphabetical order. And I was so frustrated because people did ask the fucking most annoying questions at that
my
job.
favorite prank call when I was a kid was asking people mundane shit and then pretending like I was getting off on it while I was talking to them.
People did ask the stupidest questions, though, so I thought he was real. Like, before that, I had a set of girls come in and ask how the movies were organized, and I was like, oh, alphabetically. And they were like the classical alphabet? And I was like, the fuck do you mean? Like, what other alphabet do you know?
No, we work off of a Grecian alphabet here, so
Good luck.
yeah, you're gonna have to start at alpha, okay? Work your way towards Z. You got it?
Good. Yeah. Got it? Good. So, yeah, there was people also, like, I remember one man walked in once and he was like, so do you guys have DVDs here? And I was like, and, it's a fucking DVD rental place, so they're everywhere. They're like, you can't look in a direction.
You got to think about, when I was a kid, when I was an adult, there was still VHS rental, so.
True, yeah. But, like, we strictly do DVDs here at this place, and they are everywhere. They are, like, there's rows and rows of them. They are all over the walls, and we're like, yeah, I was like, yep, we rent DVDs. And he's like, where are they? And I honestly was like, oh my God, this is priceless.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of really weird. There was one guy who just came in wearing sweats once. He wasn't wearing a shirt or shoes, and he asked where the hustler section was.
Nice.
That was a treat.
Yeah.
That was a good Sunday.
Those ones are fucking awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that was a good job.
I always love seeing people buy weird shit, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially if you're in a movie store and you see, like, this family getting horror movies. It's like, oh, I love that family. Or if you see the 2 old guys coming together and they're renting Air Bud, you're like, what?
What are you guys doing? Yeah. Oh, totally.
I almost want an explanation as to how your night's going to go down. Is it Chardonnay, bubble bath, and Air Bud?
Air Bud? Yeah, I definitely would, like, take into consideration people's movie choices, and it said a lot about their character. I feel like I knew people just from their cinematic tastes.
It'd be entirely different if those places were still open. You could work at them now and just be like, you see couples come in trying, y'all never heard of Netflix and chill? No?
Well, that's a funny thing. I mean, I worked that job pretty late into college,
but now you can't fit in a red box.
I know, I've just grown too big. They stayed. I think they're still open in Missoula. It's like the one last video rental place.
There's
in
a
the world.
Blockbuster.
Where?
In Montana.
Really?
Yeah, I just saw it on the internet the other day. Some guy's like, I'm in this tiny ass town in Montana, and there's I want to say it was like Libby.
Oh my God! Yes,
like
that sounds right.
Yeah.
There's so many weird random
like some
towns.
like 1,000 person town with no internet yet.
Oh, there's much like I remember. There's a place called Drummond in Montana,
Yep.
and there's 200 people. They have like a chalkboard, so there's a cafe in there, and they have
200
a chalkboard,
people
and it
with
says
7 last
population.
names.
Yeah, and it's like population, and it actually specifically said 206.
Yep.
Like, that's insane. 206 people. Are you serious?
There's weird population variances everywhere, though, because you look at it, like the city of Los Angeles has more people than the entire continent of Australia. Important phone call. That's okay.
Okay, I'm back.
You can answer it if you want.
No,
we can plug it in.
It's totally fine.
I've got the cord. We can plug it in.
Oh my God, a guest caller.
Guest caller. It's your mom. What are you doing?
I know, my mom's really sweet too. She'd be like, God bless you, everyone. I love my mom. She's great. She's the best. Love her to death. She's an angel, human angel.
Did I ask you where we find your art yet?
Yeah, my website. You asked that.
Oh, that's right. I did.
Yep.
I forget a lot of shit.
No, it's totally fine. Also here.
Oh, that's right.
Greenwood Art
And
Walk.
yes, and here. We should probably wrap this up here soon.
Yeah,
I have to pee so bad.
I know. Me too, actually. Yeah, my artwork is on my website. You can go to my Instagram as well.
Reiterate.
Yeah, and
Website.
I'm on Reddit as well. I think we talked about Reddit, and
Okay.
I'd put my art on there sometimes.
You gotta reiterate your info though.
So my website is www.
HTTP semicolon / or no colon / I fucked up.
Great.
Alright.
Now they're never gonna find my art.
I know.
Thanks.
Stupid old people not knowing how to use the internet.
Oh, by the way, have you seen the subreddit Old People Facebook? It's like my favorite thing.
I have. I'll show you my favorite one.
Oh my
Recently.
God.
It was my own grandmother.
Oh my God.
It was
Really?
great, yes.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, so it's the chaoticaquatic.com for my website, and then my Instagram's the same thing.
Chaotic Aquatic.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
And we're at on Reddit.
I'll give you one guess.
Chaotic Aquatic.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Also a Tumblr. Not a Tumblr girl.
You know, I think I
Good
was
call.
on Tumblr like years and years ago, so there might be like one really old shitty piece of artwork,
Yeah.
but
I feel like the rise of Tumblr girls fell off as soon as somebody made a song about Tumblr girls.
yeah, they're like, ooh, I don't want to identify as that.
Never mind.
Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me.
And
This was
also,
really fun.
every second Friday, down here
Yeah.
in Greenwood, in the basement of the Urban Light Studio at the Greenwood Art Collective. It's a fucking amazing place. There's currently construction going on outside the door, but you can still get in. Second Friday of every month. Come down. Come to all the studios down here, please. It's a fantastic place.
It's so cool. It's
is.
honestly the best.
I mean, we're
Yeah.
there,
So what more do
right?
you need?
And Rob.
honestly?
I know you can't see Rob's stuff, but
And
you've seen
food?
Rob before. Rob's been on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There you
Yeah.
go. Food also.
Rob's
like-
been on a few times. Rob
Has
came,
he?
yeah, he sat down and he did a commercial for his show at Praxis with Claudio, and then he did a podcast with me at our grandparents' cabin out in
my
Shelton,
gosh.
and then he came in and subbed for me during the live podcast that was upstairs.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
I
feel
want to
like
do
he'd
I
be
want to
fun
do
to
more
talk to.
live ones.
Is
I
it
think-
kind of scary though? Because are you allowed to? I guess you can swear. It's your own podcast.
Yeah,
Doesn't
fuck
matter.
them.
You're not on like.
Eat dick if you don't like it. It's mine. I don't care. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
What about like when you mess up with your words, which I tend to do a lot?
I do too, and I don't edit a single thing.
You're just like, take
Nope.
me for what I am. I
Yep.
guess you said that you actively pretend to have Tourette's, so you probably don't care.
Yes.
About fucking
Yes, I do.
words.
I swear to God, I have this ultimate dream of like dressing like full. What's the word? Like just dad style, you know?
Oh.
Khaki shorts, tall socks, New Balance sneakers, polo shirt
Nice.
tucked in,
Yeah.
going into a strip club, and just sit there and just yell out swear words and Tourette my ass off one day. Especially with the big titty line. That'd be great.
Oh my god, that is amazing.
Wait for the A cup girl to hit stage. Fuck, ball sack, big titties.
Honestly, you would probably really boost her self-esteem,
Right.
so you should do that.
Yep. Hot clam.
No wonder people are scared of you in dark alleyways, though.
Right.
Do you do that? Is that generally your,
No, I don't do it a lot anymore. I used to do it when I was drunk a lot. I would run around the streets and do that and or try and start fights.
My old roommate, she is like my best friend, and she used to have me one night. It wasn't all the time, thank God, but I got blacked out one night, and she was having me just scream random things. I would be like, can we please like go get tacos from the taco truck? And she was like, okay, I'll buy you a taco, but you have to scream penis as loud as you can. So I did that, and that was a whole night. and it was really sad because it was across the street from the place that I worked at. I was a bartender at the time.
Oh God.
So there was aftermath to deal with.
Penis. Tacos now. Penis. Yeah.
I was easily convinced at that juncture. So matured so much since then, though.
Yeah, it happens. Alrighty then.
On that note,
So this has been another podcast. Please again follow, subscribe. This will be up in a couple days. I still have to fucking finish Dave's.
love you, Dave.
Me and Dave had a podcast, and I've been sleeping on it.
Oh,
I've been slacking so hard. It's Halloween, and we had a lot of shit going on.
this is Halloween.
We were gonna go do what we want. I have this ambition to do the Walk of Shame podcast, and that's to go down to the U District the day after Halloween
Which
at like
is, like,
7 in the morning.
Today, right? Or
It was yesterday,
Oh,
but I wanted to go at I was way too drunk in the morning. But like at 7 in the morning, go down and just start recording the girls that are doing the Walk of Shame and interview them. It would have been so fucking great.
Honestly, that would have been
Like,
gold.
how many haggard ass shoe carrying Harley Quinns can you see in the morning?
Or I mean,
Makeup smears full of regret and
shame.
semen.
Excellent. Very excellent.
Yep. So that's it. Again, subscribe, go to her
Yay.
page, buy her stuff.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Come down here and buy the stuff. It's way better then because the shipping's cheaper. But
True. Yeah, exactly. And you
because they're fucking huge pieces down here.
they're really big. I would
And
never
not
go
only
this-
are they big, they are also phenomenal.
Oh, thank you. It's so nice.
It's been great having you.
Yeah, thanks for
All right,
having me.
guys.
It's fun.
See you next time.
Bye.